And we'll get to that later because that's going to be really good for Tennessee's recruiting. But he was the big name. But Gus Malzahn, he can't let go. He can't. That is why the coordinator before left to go to UConn, who was his quarterback in Arkansas. When Gus Malzahn was a high school football coach at Arkansas, God, his name escapes me. Was it Rhett Lashley?
Yes.
So Rhett Lashley was his quarterback in Arkansas. Rhett Lashley was his offense coordinator at Auburn. And Rhett Lashley saw, my goodness, my career is going to stall if I don't get out of here because Gus Malzahn is micromanaging. He won't let go. So he leaves. You're supposed to hang on to a guy like that. You played quarterback for him, and he's blowing up. You should be able to ride the Gus Malzahn train all the way to you becoming a head coach. But Rhett Lashley got out, bringing in Chip Lindsey, and Gus Malzahn had to change it all. It's the reason why Auburn is thinking about firing this dude and giving him $28 million because of the dysfunction. They're afraid that Gus Malzahn can't get this team back. Why else would you want to fire him right now, $28 million? They feel like they can get someone better right now. Gus Malzahn is piss poor at managing a staff. That is why Auburn is in the position that they're in.
There's been some rumors yesterday, and we'll talk about those during around the SEC. If Gus gets fired, yes, no? That's Tennessee OC?
No. No, man.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not as quick to say no.
Why?
There are other guys I would rather have, but if you swing and miss on those guys.
How is he a good fit in Tennessee?
I think he's good X's and O's wise. I think he's a better coordinator than he is leader of a program.
His offensive philosophies are night and day different than what Pruitt wants to do. But that's what I'm talking about. That's getting caught up in the name. No. You want to do that up-tempo, fast-paced, elementary school offense where you don't evaluate a quarterback properly, you don't develop a quarterback properly. You can do that, but not at Tennessee. Cool. But I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot. Auburn is in the position that they're in right now because their staff, they're not cohesive. They're not on the same page. And that's what's important. Look at what happened at Tennessee over the years. Look what happened at LSU with Matt Canada. Look what's happening to Auburn. It's about the staff being able to work together and the offense coordinator being qualified. It's not about names. If Cliff Kingsbury comes in, yeah, he has a great name, but if he does something totally different than what Pruitt wants philosophy-wise, how is that going to work? Bob Shoop was a big name coming in as defense coordinator. Did it work?
Nope.
It did not work.
Because of Butch Jones.
Is Bob Shoop a good coach?
Heck yes.
I think he's proven that right now. So there's this thinking that you got to have a big name. Here's why. We think we got to have a big name. Derek Dooley, Butch Jones. Two head coaches that we've had to Google. And when we Googled those guys, it wasn't like all the information we needed was on the first page. We had to get to like the fourth or fifth page to find out about Butch Jones and Derek Dooley. When Derek Dooley hired an offense coordinator, who did he hire? Jim Chaney. Who? Dude, Jim Chaney's a boss. Broke records here offensively at Tennessee. We went out, we hired Mike DeBoer. What? Who? Mike DeBoer broke some of those records with Josh Dobbs. It's about quality. It's about the qualification. It's about the fits. And for Mike DeBoer, it wasn't a good fit because the culture was toxic, so he left. It was spun that he retired and he wanted to spend more time with his family. But he's the offense coordinator in Indiana. Like they spend less time just because he's at a different school. No, the fit was off, so he left. It's about fits. It's about qualifications. It's not about the name. Now, the big name guys could also be qualified. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's about fits, and there's a lot of names here. Now, first, let's go to the phones. We'll come back, and then we'll go through these names. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning.
Hey, you talking about having a bad week in a lot of ways. Last week is Dad burned deer hunting, and a buck ran out in front of us and towed our truck. Had to get a rental car that wouldn't haul all the stuff we took. So it was a mess. And then go through that game, it just kind of added to it. But
yeah, but you got dinner though. You got dinner and lunch.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a good thing.
That's good. I did. Hey, the thing about it is, I tell you what, Elton, it's a good thing that for him that he didn't have to make a decision about coaching a bowl game. Of course, they played like they didn't want to play.
Correct.
But so I don't know about that. But at least he didn't have to make a decision whether or not he was going to coach or not. And the coach didn't have to make a decision whether he wanted him to coach or not. And so I guess there's some good things in that direction. But talk about coaches fit or non-fit. I think if they find somebody like George Quarles that's really can call offensive, I think would be a good fit. I don't know how many George Quarles there are out there to choose from.
There's a lot.
Somebody like, yeah. Well, some of those would be a pretty good direction, I think.
Yeah.
But I was just going to throw that out.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Good morning, individuals. 865-200-5503 is our telephone number to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. The Swain Event's fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-200-5503 again is the number to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Ben McKee, Charlie Burris. Cold this morning. Nice and chilly this morning. Wednesday, November 28, 2018. We're still looking for an offensive coordinator. That's just the way we do things here on Rocky Top. A lot of coaching movement across the country. A ton of dominoes will fall. It will impact maybe even Tennessee, and we will talk about that today for sure. Recruiting, we'll talk about as Jerry Pruitt is crisscrossing the globe to try to find some more players. It looks like these younger players, after having a meeting with Jeremy Pruitt on Sunday, their hair is on fire. They're tired of being sick and tired. And in a weird way, there's some momentum. There's like some momentum in recruiting after getting embarrassed on national television 2 weeks in a row. But there is some recruiting momentum. There is. Just keep an eye out over the next couple days. Trust me. 865-200-5503. B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Ben, Charlie, good morning, individuals.
Good morning. I'm freezing. I slid in here in a block of ice. I'm not happy about it.
It's all right, man.
Also, got a little bit of a cold, which is always great for radio when it affects my voice. But honestly, doing well.
Hey, sliding in a block of ice and having to thaw out is better than sliding anywhere in a wooden box.
That is very true.
So
very, very
give
true.
me this. Give me this. Now, I don't turn the heat on everywhere around here. Take that, KUB. I really told you I'm going to freeze my butt off to show you something. But I'm a big fan of space heaters, and so yeah, it's a little chilly. Not in this studio because we always bring the heat in here. You saw what I did there? Yeah.
I just want to know, did Charlie Burris slide in here on a block of ice or a patch of ice, whatever you said? Did you slide into the studio on a patch of ice like you did Dan Wilkins' DMs?
Ooh.
Now, let's be clear here. Dan did the sliding.
That's right. You're right.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
He was the first to message me because, as we all know, Dan loves me. And so, yes, I slid in here like Dan Wilkin into those DMs.
I mean, he respects your opinion he respects my opinion for some reason to have to explain himself during that whole time. But anyways.
It should be, in terms of weather, Mother Nature should be ashamed of herself because
this is great.
The temperature should never be lower than what it is driving through a neighborhood. Like, I was going faster through the neighborhood at 23 miles an hour than the temperature was.
You speeding through my neighborhood, man?
Your neighborhood is 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. So, no, I was not speeding.
Don't be speeding through my neighborhood,
Yeah,
man.
you were going the speed limit and still going above the temperature number that it is.
Like, that should not be allowed.
Don't make me call the police.
That's how cold it is.
Stake out.
We were lucky that there was no precipitation because there probably would have been some snow and some ice on the ground. This weekend, it's supposed to pour down rain, but it's supposed to be back up to 58, 60 degrees.
We'll see, man. Listen, Ben.
I don't do cold weather.
You young, man. Listen, my old heads out there, y'all know what kind of weather this is. This is cuddle weather. This is snuggle up weather. This is boo weather.
Let me ask you a question.
This is good weather, Ben. This is a good time to get on the couch, a little Netflix and chill.
I don't disagree.
Blanket. Come on, Ben.
I don't disagree. But where does my fiance live, Jason?
Hey, man, you have a car.
It's the middle of the week, and I have responsibilities in Knoxville.
It's just a 3-hour drive. Y'all
All right.
meet in Chattanooga.
Charlie, you're producing today. She's also at 1 week left of nursing school, which means she has like a trillion finals over the next week that she is already paranoid and on edge about. The last thing I need to be doing is saying, hey, meet me in Chattanooga.
You're the remedy, Ben. You're the remedy. 865-200-5503. Yeah, we do not have an offense coordinator yet, but we may have a timeline of when things may get to moving. Why? It's because Auburn may have to pay Chip Lindsey $100,000 if he is still on staff by a certain day, in a couple days. And Chip Lindsey is a name that's being, I won't say thrown around, but it's heating up with Chip Lindsey. It's a possibility there. Anything can happen with 2 or 3 candidates, and the dominoes can fall one way, and we not get Chip Lindsey. But Chip Lindsey is definitely in the mix. Hardcore. He has Alabama ties, Alabama high school ties. He is a good offense coordinator. He did a really good job at Arizona State. I need folks to not to be simpletons here and go look at Auburn's offensive numbers and say, he stunk this year. Look at the numbers. I need for you to realize, because remember, you're a college football fan, and remember, you're an SEC football fan. So you probably know this. Gus Malzahn calls the plays. Gus Malzahn is the boss. Gus Malzahn has already lost an offense coordinator because he was meddling. Gus Malzahn is on the verge of getting himself fired. You don't fire somebody with $28 million coming his way unless there is extreme dysfunction, unless you feel like you can't recover. That's where Auburn is, and that's why they are discussing maybe letting Gus Malzahn go.
Feels like a Bob Shoop at Tennessee situation.
Exactly. Chip Lindsey's a good offense coordinator. Gus Malzahn, folks, is the head coach. It's his offense. It's his offense. So Chip Lindsey is a good offense coordinator. If I see one more reference to Auburn's offense stats this year, I'm going to pull my hair out. And I don't even have any. I'm going to bang my head against the wall. Like, come on. Chip Lindsey doesn't call plays at Auburn. Gus Malzahn's a guy. So you got Chip Lindsey out there. Now, Football Scoop, Charlie, I don't know if you have this pulled up yet or not, but on Football Scoop, Mike Locksley, the offense coordinator at Alabama, was asked about the Maryland job. Maryland has an opening, and Charlie, he commented on when he will be talking to Maryland.
Sorry, I'm reading what it says. So Mike, it says Maryland is waiting on Mike Locksley. That's what this says. And he has told the Terps he will not interview until Alabama's SEC championship game versus Georgia is complete. Once the game is complete, he is expected to interview with the understanding that if it goes well, he will then be the leading candidate.
Yes. So he's not doing anything. Now, I'm not saying that to say that Tennessee is eyeing in on Mike Locksley, but you look at Dan Enos, who is a capable offensive coordinator, who's on that staff, who is the quarterback coach. If Mike Locksley's not leaving, why would Dan Enos be the offensive coordinator in Alabama? So if I'm Tennessee, I look at Dan Enos. If I'm Tennessee, and this may sound crazy, I look at Mike Locksley too. Why not? Why not? You can't rule out anything. When you look at the ties to Pruitt, to the state of Alabama, Auburn, and the Alabama staff, guys that he knows, guys that he trusts, you can't rule out any of these guys. You can't. You can't.
With Locksley, just a note there, if they were to go after him, he is currently making what Tyson Helton made this year. So you'd have to up even that to a pretty drastic number, I would say, for an assistant coach.
Give him 1.5 and call it quits.
It would have to be somewhere around there.
I don't know if you have to do that or not. Everyone assumes that people just love working for Nick Saban, and I don't think everyone likes working for Nick Saban. The reason why I say that is because when I was being recruited, my guy that was recruiting me, I won't say his name, even though I just remembered it. I won't put him out there. But he was talking to me about, kind of the culture at LSU. And I don't know why he told me this. Maybe I asked, maybe because I asked good questions or whatever. But I asked him about the turnover with the assistant coaches. And he basically told me, yeah, we work a lot of hours. It's tough because Saban is demanding, and it's usually a lot of turnover. We get paid a lot, but it's turnover because of how demanding it is. And that just let me know that not everyone likes working for Nick Saban. Like Lane Kiffin didn't like it. Steve Sarkisian didn't like it. There's other folks who left who publicly have not said anything, but you use Nick Saban to further your career. Nick Saban ain't pleasant to work for. So we assume that every assistant coach, they're just in paradise because they have talent, because they're winning. A lot of those guys who are coordinators, they want to be head coaches or assistants that have any type of aspirations to being a head coach. They know if you go to Alabama and you stomach Nick Saban for 2-3 years, you can be a head coach. So it's this perception that everyone loves working for Nick Saban. And I don't think that's true. I don't know how Dan Enos feels. I don't know how Mike Locksley feels. I don't know how guys on this staff feel. But I do know that not everyone loves working for Nick Saban. So if you have a connection to Jeremy Pruitt, to me, I'm looking at you. That's how I'm looking at this. You look at Tennessee's current staff. There's really only one dude on the staff that does not have a direct connection to Jeremy Pruitt, and that's Terry Fair. Everybody else, he's either worked with, recruited against, and he knows. Like, these are guys that he brought in that he trusts. Joe Osavet, trust. Will Friend went to school with. Sheriff, boom, high school coach with. Charles Kelly worked at Florida State with. Like, all these guys have a connection. Jeremy Pruitt is big on loyalty. You can tell that. This is why he was great at recruiting. So if he doesn't have a connection to Jeremy Pruitt, I'm not taking him serious. So some of these names on the list that we mentioned yesterday, I'm not taking serious. I'm throwing in Brian McClendon too because they have a connection. They have some history too. And we talked about him yesterday. He's an offense coordinator at South Carolina. 865-255-03. Clay Helton is saving himself, folks. Clay Helton is saving himself. He has fired everybody, including T. Martin. And T. Martin's on the market. What does that mean? Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ. Take our first break of the day. Stay with us.
don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Backed by popular demand, shop tax-free at Better Mattress during the month of October. Save hundreds of dollars store-wide. Better Mattress will pay your sales tax on any purchase. My Better Mattress has me sleeping better than ever, and it's handcrafted in East Tennessee, so I know it is made to last by good people who care about the quality of their work. Better Mattress makes it so easy to choose a mattress, you can get started right now. Visit bedrmattress.com and click on Mattress Prescription. Answer a few questions, and they'll send you some options to start with. Plus, at Better Mattress, shoppers sleep worry-free. If you don't like it after 100 nights, they'll swap it out for you. And your Better Mattress will come with a 20-year warranty. Shop Better Mattress tax-free this month only. Good night just got better. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ has a new slew of daily specials for the fall. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the smokehouse stew, barbecue cheddar meatloaf, or the smoked turkey and dressing, which includes sliced smoked turkey and cornbread dressing paired with sautéed Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and a side of turkey gravy. While Dead End offers a different specialty meal each day, you can get their hillbilly chili every day. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The fall flavor search is over.
Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man?
865-255-03 B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Trying to clear my throat this morning, like DJ Cool.
You need me to mute your mic so you can clear your throat real quick?
I'm good, man. Let me clear my throat. Here we go. I've been on the phone all day yesterday. That's why I hate coaching searches.
Well, you said you were feeling a little under the weather yesterday, too, didn't you? Which makes me concerned. Really. If Charlie has a cold and you're feeling a little under the weather,
I just got a sore throat.
I need y'all to stay away from me.
I just have a sore throat from talking all day long yesterday. Did the show and then could not get off the phone.
This is true. I was sitting next to you for an hour or so after the show yesterday, and you'd get off the phone. We were trying to watch some TV.
Yeah, a little bit.
2 minutes later, you'd have to pause the TV because somebody else was calling.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I'm not a big fan of coaching searches. Not only am I on the phone the whole time, then all my buddies are like, hey,
what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? You hearing something? You hearing something? You can't keep up. It's crazy. So we will discuss the Mikael McDaniel story. If you have not been paying attention, Selena Summers' book there, Empowered, that goes over what happened a year ago, the Oceano thing and the fan revolution, and some interviews. Former player Mikael McDaniel from Georgia. The player had several SEC offers. Was not treated right by the head coach, the previous head coach, and right now he's in JUCO, not on the team, because of some of the things that happened to previous staff. I've known about it. It stinks. It really does. I feel for Mikael McDaniel. He should be on the roster, but there's people working to get him back on the roster, and hopefully that will happen. But we'll talk about that at some point during the show. T. Martin let go. And I'm trying to be nice when I say this. Watching folks just jump to conclusions and say things on Twitter when they have no idea what's going on is like sitting sometimes at Walmart and just watching people. You ever go to the big box store and just people watch?
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Oh, man. It's my favorite thing to do.
Doing it from the parking lot is the best place to do it from because you see everybody walk in and out.
Oh, you think you got some things going on in your life that you down in the dumps about? Take your butt to the big box store and just set up shop. Go to the sporting goods department and just get one of those pull-out chairs. Don't even buy it, and just park it right there. Just sit right there and just watch people walk by. And you go, oh, okay, I'm good then. I'm all right.
Life is not going so bad.
I'm okay. All right, let me get back to work. That's what I was doing yesterday on Twitter. Like, really? Man, I didn't know you knew that. Man, did you talk to T. Martin? Wow. Did you talk to Clay Helton? Wow, that's man, you sure got a lot of information. Where you live? Like Savannah, Georgia? Interesting. That's interesting. Apparently, some folks think T. Martin can't even coach. He can't even coach. You see some of the comments on Twitter. He can't coach. Now, yes, his offensive coordinator duties were taken away, but that don't even mean that he can't coordinate. That just means that situation at USC got to a point where it was best for Clay to go out on his own terms and take over the play caller. Just a couple months ago, Clay was praising T. Martin and calling him the most complete all-around coach that he's ever seen or ever worked with. I mean, he just said this. College football is cutthroat. It's a big business. And if Clay Helton wants to save his job, hey, you got to let everybody go. It happens.
I don't think it was a Clay Helton decision.
It was Lynn Swann.
It was 100% Lynn Swann because Clay Helton has that David Cutcliffe in him to where he is a very nice human being, but David Cutcliffe showed more loyalty because ultimately Cutcliffe at Ole Miss chose to go elsewhere rather than fire all of his assistants. And I guarantee you Clay Helton was proposed the same deal, either you're fired or fire everybody. And it looks like he decided to save his own butt and fire everybody.
Here's an assessment from Ryan Abraham, who, if you don't know, he's 247, covers USC out there. Him and his wife are a friend of the show.
Yep.
He said, according to sources, T. Martin would have stayed on in a staff role other than offensive coordinator. He develops receivers well and is the best recruiter on the staff. My gut said Clay Helton would keep him, but he didn't. That's coming from, I would say, the person who covers USC the best out there when I look at it. And he says, T. Martin is a useful asset. And, I mean, you can't overlook that. Should he be considered for this OC position? You know, that's you can debate that all you want, but he is good at what he does.
I think, Ben, you would agree, right, about T. Martin's coaching ability to developing the wide receivers?
Yes, Juju Smith-Schuster
that's
has been phenomenal this season. Statistically, he's been up there with Antonio Brown.
So there's not a question about the development of wide receivers for T. Martin. I mean, Juju Schuster, Smith-Schuster, you look at Marquise Lee, tons of wide receivers from USC that have been in the running for the Biletnikoff Award have been taught by T. Martin. So he can coach. I don't know what happened with the offense coordinator stuff at USC. The obvious question is, do you bring T. Martin home? Do I look up to T. Martin? Absolutely. He was one of the reasons why I looked at Tennessee growing up. A brother from Alabama leading Tennessee for a championship, that caught my attention, no doubt about it. I trained Amari his junior and senior year, got him ready for Clemson. So, of course, I have ties to that family. But I also have a job to do. Last year, I thought T. Martin should have gotten the interview. To be the head coach. I don't mean I think he should have been the head coach, because I don't know what T. Martin would have said to the AD at the time, which was and is Philip Fulmer. What if T. Martin bombed it? I'm not going to sit here and say T. Martin should be the head coach if he bombed the interview. I thought he should have been interviewed. I think T. Martin can be a really good head coach. But it's about fits. I just did a whole show about that yesterday. I'm not going to do a whole show about that yesterday and then take it back just because it's T. Martin. No, it's about fits with anybody. Whether you played at Tennessee or not. It's about fits. Chuck Smith wasn't a right fit for Tennessee when Derek Dooley brought him in. It sounded good, but we know how that ended. Chuck Smith was doing a press conference at Neyland Stadium after getting into it with Derek Dooley. It wasn't a right fit. Just because you played Tennessee doesn't make it a right fit. Period. And T. Martin is no exception. Now, there's no doubt that he's one of the best recruiters in the country. And the name of the game, especially for Tennessee right now, is recruiting. Can you get dudes? That's very important for Tennessee. But there's not a spot right now for T. Martin. There's not. If I got a car full of folks in my car, yeah, I got my boy who needs a ride, but I'm not kicking somebody else out who doesn't deserve it just to get my friend inside the car. It may not work out. This may not be the time. Here's something to think about. Whoever the offensive coordinator is going to be next for Tennessee, he's not going to be able to bring his own people, more than likely. Think about that.
No.
In 2006, David Cutcliffe came, and he brought Kurt Roper. He brought Matt Luke. We slid Trooper Taylor from running backs to wide receivers. And Matt Luke and Kurt Roper was able to teach the Cutcliffe offensive philosophies to the rest of the offense. We had no problems learning things. Number one, it's a little bit of what we did before under Randy Sanders, because Randy Sanders basically ran what Coach Cut ran when he was here in the late 90s. So it's something to think about. We're going to hire an offense coordinator. He's going to come in, and he's not going to have anyone to help him teach his offensive philosophies to at all. He'll be teaching to his new staff and his new players. 865-255-03. We have Around the SEC coming up next. Stay with us.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Beatty Chevrolet is celebrating 85 years of low prices. And during Truck Month, choose from over 400 trucks and SUVs, all deeply discounted. Like a new Silverado, now 25% off. A new Equinox, now 20% off. And a certified pre-owned 15 Equinox or Terrain, now $16,995. Plus, buy with confidence with the Beatty warranty for life.
Big selection and even bigger savings. That's why it's better at Beatty Chevrolet.
Stock number 232, savings off MSRP, include document savings and manufacturer incentives with approved credit list finance through GMF. Offer expires 8/31/18.
Big Orange football is better alongside another Tennessee tradition, Mrs. Grissom's salad. Mrs. Grissom's ready-made snacks and meals are perfect for game day. Crowd favorites like the select pimento cheese and cranberry pecan chicken salad are delicious and easy to grab and go right from the grocery store. Going to the game? Visit Mrs. Grissom's in Vol Village for the must-have panini grilled pimento cheese hot dog. Man, select the best. Select Tennessee's own Mrs. Grissom's.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event. Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
I love it when we come back from break and Ben's like, hey, hurry up, because I have a lot to talk about. I got a lot to discuss. Ben got some things on his mind for Around the SEC that is brought to you by 42nd Street Marketing and Branding. Call Mike at 865-382-7007. Go to their website and fill out their website form for information about how you can upgrade your branding. Custom website design, logo design, and print design. In the age of templates, 42nd Street takes pride in creating truly custom designs with the client experience in mind. 2019 is approaching, and so take your branding game to the next level in the new year. 42nd Street, the only company I trust my branding with. The new SwainEvent.com is fantastic. New business cards are great, and I owe it all to 42nd Street. I am a walking testament. I don't know if you kind of catch on here, but most of our sponsors, like I either shop there or I've used myself because I want to be a product of the product. I'm not going to tell someone to do something that I haven't done myself or go somewhere that I haven't gone myself. And so 42nd Street is a company that I'm using that I've had great success with because I want to take my branding to the top. I don't know who voted me for City View top 3 talk show host in Knoxville. I don't know who you are, but I ain't paying you for it. I don't know who you are, man. I don't know why you did it. You surprised me. I have no clue. But thanks a lot. Now I've had to step my branding game up. I got to step my game up a little bit. Put all this pressure on me. So I had to go with a real branding team, a real marketing team, and I chose 42nd Street. It was a whole lot easier just being a no-name dude, raggedy, on a raggedy station, raggedy equipment. It was a lot easier, man. It's a whole lot easier, man.
I'm going to keep my comments to myself and go ahead and talk
Charlie, any comments there?
See, what had happened was that ain't no problem.
All right, man, what we got, man, for around the SEC?
We got a lot of things because it is the best time of the year. You've got college basketball going on. You've got coaching changes. You've got recruiting news. You've got playoff rankings and bowl games. Playoffs. It's the best time of the year, in my opinion. But first, college basketball. Georgia and Florida have been struggling in basketball, but last night they got back on track with Georgia beat Kennesaw State by 30. Florida beat North Florida by a little less than 30. You had Vanderbilt beat Savannah State 120-85 in Vanderbilt's first game without Darius Garland, who will now miss the entire season with a torn meniscus. He had surgery yesterday, I believe, to repair that, and that is really unfortunate. I hate Vanderbilt, and, you know, I'm glad that Kari, my buddy who plays for Vanderbilt, is finally graduating because now I can go back to really talking trash. Like, I've been reserved the last couple of years because my buddy was on the baseball team, had a buddy on the football team. Now that both of them are no longer at Vanderbilt, I can go back to trash talking Vanderbilt, so that's great. But point being, it's nice.
We can't trash talk Vanderbilt.
I know we can't.
You get a basketball.
Can't have basketball.
You swept him last
year.
But
it's unfortunate to see Darius Garland, who was going to be a top 10 pick, get hurt.
It really does
suck. And for the SEC, that's 2 years in a row where a lottery pick tears something up in their knee.
Yep.
Well, I guess
it was
Porter was back, but had a serious injury and can't play. And speaking of Missouri, they lost to Temple last night, 79-77. And one last little basketball note: South Carolina sophomore Justin Minya will have right knee surgery and will be out indefinitely. Suffered the injury in practice, so he was averaging 7 points a game, and things are not looking good for South Carolina basketball at the moment. Moving to football, last night the college football playoff rankings were announced, and with Missouri's entry into the college football top 25, the SEC becomes the first conference to ever place 8 teams in the college football playoff poll. They finished the regular season with 4 teams in the top 10, and those teams are Alabama at number 1, Georgia at number 4, Florida at number 9, LSU at number 10. You had Kentucky at number 15, Mississippi State at 18, Texas A&M at 19, and Missouri at 24. So based off of those rankings, it's looking like Alabama, Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, Georgia, Texas in the Sugar Bowl potentially, and that's assuming that Alabama were to beat Georgia this weekend. And then UCF, LSU in the Fiesta Bowl, and Michigan, Florida in the Peach Bowl.
What is really ridiculous about that is that, if I'm doing my math correctly here,
old school, the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
A quarter of Tennessee's schedule is in the top 10, and then you include who else? They also played Missouri, Kentucky.
Where'd West Virginia finish?
Yeah,
West
Virginia is 16. So you add another 3 there. Literally half of Tennessee's schedule is in the top 25, and an entire quarter is in the top 10. And that's one of the reasons why it's so tough to get a team back on top here at Tennessee.
Yeah. And then the rankings were just all sorts of funky. I mean, for once I agreed with Matt Jones. How is Florida, who is 9-3, number 9 in the playoff rankings over Kentucky, who is 9-3 and is number 15? Last I checked, Kentucky beat down Florida.
Stupid.
But they're 6 spots ahead.
But Florida had better wins. I mean, they beat LSU.
Yeah, that's true. But it does look a little funky that Florida's number 9, Kentucky's 15, and Kentucky beat Florida on its home field.
Yeah, I mean but they're picking the best football teams at that time.
What's a better win, Kentucky over Mississippi State or Florida over LSU?
Florida over LSU. Yeah.
I think I agree.
Yeah, I mean that's that.
But
they're not looking at it like a normal fan looks at it. Like, wait, well, if this team beat that team, that means this team is better than that team. Well, they're looking at who are the best 25 teams today, regardless of who you lost to or who you beat. During the season, it's who are the best 25 teams, and they feel like Florida's better than Kentucky, and I happen to agree.
I think I do too. And what's helped, I think the real reason that Florida is number 9, Kentucky is number 15 is that Florida has played better towards the end of the year than Kentucky has.
Yeah.
I know Florida did get blown out by Missouri on the same day Tennessee blew out Kentucky, but neither here nor there. One last note, and this is related to Tennessee's offensive coordinator search.
Mm-hmm.
According to Brandon Marcello, he tweeted out yesterday, Auburn offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey is set to receive a $100,000 retention bonus from Auburn should he be employed beyond this Saturday.
Well, and this entire situation is really interesting here. This is the first 2 paragraphs from everything that Brandon Marcello reported yesterday about the Gus Malzahn situation. He said, though no agreement has been finalized and changes remain possible, Gus Malzahn is on the verge of accepting a reduced buyout and other limitations to remain for his 7th season at Auburn. Malzahn's buyout, sources said, would be reduced by an unspecified amount. Any coaching staff moves would have to be revenue neutral, effectively removing the possibility of paying buyouts for assistant coaches and assuring Chip Lindsey would remain as offensive coordinator unless he chooses to leave. It's an interesting situation down there.
Let me throw this at you before we go to break. You have that with Chip Lindsey, $100,000 retention bonus that he will get Saturday. We just threw out a timeline that may be good to know with Mike Locksley at Alabama not interviewing to be the Maryland head coach until the conclusion of the SEC championship game. This weekend, they played Georgia. You look at Dan Enos, you look at Mike Locksley, you look at Chip Lindsey. All 3 of those guys have some things brewing that I think moves them one way or the other by Saturday or by Sunday at least, because you have this retention bonus and Locksley's going to interview with Maryland, and there may be a domino effect. John D. Bryce 1 on Twitter. You know him? John Bryce. What the D stand for? I gotta find out what the D stands for John Bryce.
Probably D's.
Yeah. John D's Bryce. Or maybe it's Dwayne.
David?
Maybe it's Denzel.
Maybe it's DeQuil.
Maybe it's I think it's Denzel.
I prefer DeQuil.
I'm going Denzel. John Denzel Bryce.
Duquan. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going, let's go. Daquan. Denzel.
D's.
I prefer D's. That's what I'm going with.
John D's Bryce. So John D. Bryce, yesterday on Twitter, continue to be told that Auburn's Chip Lindsey is strongly in the mix for the Vols OC. Was told this AM that Hugh Freeze remains, quote, possible. Top names I've heard throughout the day for multiple folks. So, Hugh Freeze is still alive. He's still alive. Now, I might drop something on you right here before I go to break.
Uh-oh.
Y'all do know Jeremy Pruitt is crisscrossing the country recruiting, right?
Been lots of pictures coming out of him with recruits and stuff like that.
Was with Ramel Keaton and his family yesterday.
Correct. So he already hit Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. He was in Atlanta yesterday with Charles Kelly.
Has anyone seen any other pictures of Pruitt anywhere else? What city he has visited?
I know he was in Memphis.
He was recently with Jackson Lowe.
He was in Georgia, Jackson Lowe.
Yeah.
Was he in Memphis recently?
I thought he was.
Well, I don't think he's been to Memphis, and I think he is going to Memphis here very, 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 very soon.
Maybe that's what it was.
Because he needs to visit Bill Norton. And he needs to visit Eric Gray.
And Maurice Hampton.
Possibly. I mean, where's Hugh Freeze? Where's he from?
The Memphis area.
Oh, okay. I mean, he may still live in Oxford, but I mean, Hugh Freeze, his roots are right there in Memphis. So
he was at Lambeth, I believe, and isn't that a Division III college there in Memphis? He was at Lambeth, and then I know he coached at a high school in Memphis. I can't remember the name of the high school, but I do believe he went to Lambeth at some point.
This is tea I'm drinking, by the way. If you're watching, I'm looking real cool.
You're sipping with your pinky up.
Making a point, drinking tea, my pinky up.
He was at Briarcrest High School, and Lambeth is in Jackson.
Oh. But
So close.
Did he coach at Lambeth?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So putting two and two together here, Pruitt got to get to Memphis. If Hugh Freeze is not entirely out of it, I mean, that'll probably be a good time to meet and maybe talk about a little football. You talking about shutting down Memphis and recruiting?
Ooh.
With Hugh Freeze?
Now
check this out. Check this out as a possibility. What if, just what if, you bring in Hugh Freeze and T. Martin?
Don't do it to me.
And then you move a coach from defense, and you move that number to offense. And Ben, you the one that kind of brought this up during the break. I'm just adding Hugh Freeze to the mix. But let's just say that you move Winky, the quarterback's coach. You bring in T. Martin to be running back's coach. You got Yak Johnson, who I think is a stud as a teacher. But then you add Hugh Freeze to lock down Memphis, and you add T. Martin to lock down Atlanta.
Not just Atlanta. You lock down at the Atlanta area. You'd lock down South Alabama, where he has plenty of roots from, and now you have an additional connection to the West Coast.
Ooh.
On top of the Memphis Connect with Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
And that's two Memphis Connects with David Johnson.
All right. That is a move right there. That is a move. But, just connecting the dots here. Saw Pruitt all up in Atlanta, all up in Georgia. Got to get to Memphis soon. Got to get to Memphis. Good time to talk to Hugh Freeze. I said it yesterday. It's worth a conversation, a serious conversation, to talk about philosophies, to talk about recruiting, everything. I think it's worth it. This is a football program. This ain't the youth ministry. It's not. He made a mistake, whatever. He's going to get a second chance somewhere. He's going to get a second chance. So this ain't TC's First Volunteer Missionary Baptist Church. This is big boy football. This is football is ran by human beings. And last time I checked, human beings make mistakes. They do. 865-255-03. We got Attaboy coming up next.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Today will be sunny with a high of 50 and a low of 33. Tomorrow, give thanks with more sunshine, a high near 53 and a low around 34. Friday, even more sun with a high in the low 50s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
Gentlemen, when it comes to taking care of your health, sometimes the first step is the hardest. Low T Center is making it easier to take that first step. It all starts with knowing the numbers that are essential to a man. Testosterone levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, prostate, and thyroid. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get all these levels checked and more. Low T Center specializes in men's health and has expanded their services, including sleep apnea, low thyroid, hypertension, severe allergies, high cholesterol, diabetes, and annual physicals, along with testosterone replacement therapy. The physicians at Low T Center not only want to help you feel good again, they want to help you prevent any serious health problems moving forward. Now, with the holistic approach to your overall health and wellness, Low T Center is making it more convenient for men to take care of their health, and most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify for you. Take the first step for your health and call 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare.
Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain Event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
It's almost football time in Tennessee, which means it's time to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Tommy Bahama, and all those retro logos you love. Don't forget about your game day crew. Plenty of selection for the ladies, the little balls, and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com.
More than 23 million Americans have diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes increases your chance of kidney disease, leg and foot ulcers, and even limb amputation. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and the vascular surgeons at Premier Surgical Associates urge those with diabetes to keep it under control. Manage your blood sugar levels, exercise, don't smoke, and get regular checkups. It's also important to keep your feet and legs healthy. Diabetes makes it harder for wounds and infections to heal. Diabetes is a chronic condition, but it can be managed. Visit premiersurgical.com right now for more information. Premier Surgical Associates, expertise you can trust.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Hope, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
All right, it's time for Attaboy, where we highlight positivity out there in the world because there's a lot of it. You just don't hear about it as much as the negative stuff because negative sells. And we are doing our best to make sure that you see and hear about the good deeds around the world. So Attaboy is brought to you by Premier Surgical and premiersurgical.com.
November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. More than 55,000 Americans are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer each year. Risk factors include age, smoking, obesity, diabetes, and a family history of the disease. There may not be noticeable symptoms in the early stages, but symptoms do include unexplained weight loss, back or stomach pain, trouble digesting food, yellow skin or eyes. Talk to your physician if you feel you are at risk or are experiencing these symptoms. For more information about the treatment of pancreatic and other cancers, visit premiersurgical.com. That's Premier Surgical Associates, expertise you can trust. And I believe was it Monday gave an attaboy to Tennessee's volleyball team for making the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2012. And today I have to give an attagirl, I guess, to one of the biggest reasons they made the NCAA tournament, Erica Treber, because she was named the National Player of the Week by the ABCA. Then she was also named the SEC Player of the Week. But not only that, she was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. All in 1 week. She had some incredible performances. Let me find where they had these stats. She averaged 2.29 blocks per set. Posted wins last week to finish 16-2 in conference. She tallied 5 total blocks in the win versus number 13 Florida and recorded her first double-double of 16 kills and 11 blocks against Ole Miss. She's dominant. That team is good. They're peaking at the right time. heading into the NCAA tournament here. So big shout out to Erica Tree. We're doing big things for Tennessee. I love giving a shout out to some of these sports that don't get as much attention. And if you've never been to a volleyball game in Tennessee, let me just seriously, have you been? Did you ever go, Ben, to any volleyball games? They're a lot of fun, dude. Just shout out there if you get a chance. I enjoy a good volleyball game. Went to a bunch when I was in college. Gone to a couple since I've been out.
I enjoy volleyball as well. I'm giving a late attaboy to my little cousin Avery, who plays for the Henry County Patriots. They won on Friday, defeating Beach High School, and they will now play Central, Knox Central, Beach High School. You thought I said the B word?
I thought you said something else. I was like, dang, Ben, you calling the whole high school that?
That's
not nice.
No, Beach High School, where Jalen Hurd played in Hendersonville. Henry County took care of
where
business
my mom went to high school
and beat them down, and will now play Knox Central in the state championship game on Saturday. So really excited for my little cousin. And to peel the curtain back a little bit, Swain knows the head coach over at Knox Central, and so we've been doing a little trash talking this morning during the segments. So that's been fun. So really happy for my little cousin who gets to play in the state championship game this weekend. But my main main attaboy today goes to Matt Sims and Matt Darr, two former Tennessee players. Matt Sims, the son of Super Bowl MVP Phil Sims and former Tennessee quarterback, was drafted in the second round of the American Alliance Football League last night and will play quarterback for the Atlanta Legends. I know Tennessee fans are thrilled to watch Matt Sims back in action.
Those
and then
run checks about to be on point.
On point. And then how about Matt Darr signing with the Bills yesterday for a one-year deal, and PU now has 5 punters in the league.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing PU.
PU.
No.
Punter U.
No, man.
5 punters in the league. That's actually
Sit your ass down.
that's pretty incredible when you think about it. 5 punters in the league. I mean, it's not something to brag about, but it is kind of a funky stat when you think about it.
Oh, it is funky. It's real funky.
That's why it's called PU.
Yeah, it's good for those 5 punters. Happy for them. But it is garbage truck juice funky that Tennessee is known as PU.
So you don't like Riley Lovingood tweeting out #PunterU, #for the brand?
No, I don't. I don't like it. But I love the Lovingoods. I love me some Riley Lovingood because he grew up wanting to be a Tennessee football player and found a way to do it by being the best long snapper. I love that family. I don't love being PU. I'm sure y'all understand why. I have another attaboy, but I'm going to save mine to the other side of the break. Swain Event, be right back.
If you love the Swain Event and you want more of the show every day, you can now get it with Swain Event Plus. Swain Event Plus features exclusive, in-depth interviews with former Vols.
She saved my life. I probably would have never made the comments, man. I looked at him and said, Coach, no disrespect. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to play in the SEC.
With Swain Event Plus, you can also get access to the exclusive podcast Reel on the Hill with Tennessee media legend John Bryce.
What is going on there with that battle?
I had lunch with some folks over the course of this past week who indicated some inside the program believe that Jarrett Garantano is really ready to take that next step.
So go to SwainEventPlus.com right now to sign up and check out all of the amazing extras that you can get. That's SwainEventPlus.com. Get more.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
Backed by popular demand, shop tax-free at Better Mattress during the month of October. Save hundreds of dollars store-wide. Better Mattress will pay your sales tax on any purchase. My Better Mattress has me sleeping better than ever, and it's handcrafted in East Tennessee, so I know it is made to last by good people who care about the quality of their work. Better Mattress makes it so easy to choose a mattress, you can get started right now. Visit bedrmattress.com and click on Mattress Prescription. Answer a few questions, and they'll send you some options to start with. Plus, at Better Mattress, shoppers sleep worry-free. If you don't like it after 100 nights, they'll swap it out for you. And your Better Mattress will come with a 20-year warranty. Shop Better Mattress tax-free this month only. Good night just got better.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown turnover backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong, better rates and better service. Touchdown or turnover, Tennessee will have an offense coordinator in less than a week from today. A week from today will put us at December the 5th, which is my youngest birthday and also the birthday of my father. December 5th, are we going to see Tennessee with a new offense coordinator by December 5th, a week from today? Touchdown or turnover?
I'll say touchdown. But this is because the reason I say touchdown is because I think it is going to be Chip Lindsey, Hugh Freeze, Dan Enos, one of those three, and those aren't guys that you're going to have to wait on, whereas if you did go after a Mike Locksley, you would have to wait a couple weeks. It depends on whether he would want to coach in the playoffs or not. That would be interesting to see how that unfolds. And then even a guy like Freddie Kitchens with the Browns, you'd have to wait until January before you could get him. So the other names outside of Dan Enos and Hugh Freeze and Chip Lindsey, those are guys you're going to have to wait until later in December, January to go out and get. And I don't think that's going to happen because I do think it is one of the three that I mentioned, Enos, Freeze, or Lindsey, that ends up being Tennessee's next offensive coordinator. And not only for that, but with signing day, the early signing day being December 19th, that's just a couple weeks away. I do think it is a priority to get a new offensive coordinator in here and be able to sell these players on the new offensive coordinator in their system. So I say touchdown.
Touchdown for me too. Like, there has to be some sense of urgency here for, what Ben said. You need to get somebody in for this early signing period because there are some of these interesting deadlines with Chip Lindsey and all these different situations that are kind of going on. I just think with all those factors mashed together here, I think Tennessee is going to have to act with a sense of urgency, and they will find somebody by, I guess, next Wednesday, right? So this is probably the question I fielded the most about this coaching search is, when do you think it's going to happen? When do you think it's going to happen? When do you think it's going to happen? So there's my estimate. I think it'll happen by next Wednesday.
When is it going to happen? When? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
I do agree with what Austin Price said yesterday. I don't enjoy the early stages, like within the day or two of the coach moving on, because names. You're just, there's 20, 30, 40 names that everybody's throwing out. Everybody has a person that they want to be the offensive coordinator. I like the last couple of days where you're really zoning in on 2 or 3 guys.
And you really have to be careful in those first few days of the way, at least I'm always very conscious of the way that I phrase things, because you don't want to be in a situation where you say something and then that person goes and like, well, Charlie Burris said that it's going to be, and then, you get looped into something like that. You always got to be careful. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. So I'm glad we're a little bit further down the road now.
Yeah. Leaving Knoxville to go to Huntsville for Thanksgiving, I mean, we wasn't 10 minutes down the road. Are we there yet? Really? We just left. That's how I felt on, what was it, Monday when Tyson Hilton left?
Officially.
Who's going to be? Dude, he just left like 5 minutes ago.
He only actually got introduced yesterday at Western.
Relax a little bit. Let's get some names. Let's get some serious names. There was a huge list a couple days ago or yesterday, and that list is getting smaller. So I'm gonna say touchdown. I think Pruitt will make a move before then. So I do have another attaboy. I'm a huge fan of random act of kindness or just a random compliment here and there, because you just never know what your words can do for someone. And in this case, it's really positive. It's really good. Now, Jared Garantano has been getting beat up all year long physically, like literally and figuratively, because being a quarterback in college football is tough because you're under a microscope. Everyone thinks they are a quarterback guru. They think they're a quarterback coach. They think they know the quarterback reads and all that stuff, and they're very critical of the quarterback. And that's just part of the territory, being a quarterback at a place like Tennessee. And here comes an SEC champion, a individual who is on the SEC network that calls games, that I'm pretty sure every SEC quarterback should look up to because of what he was able to do in the league, in the NFL, and at the college level. DJ Shockley, one of my good friends, sends Jared a tweet. It says, "Hey, JG, I saw you battle your tail off all this season and saw you improve weekly. I know the season did not go as you wanted, but with your leadership and ability, Tennessee is heading in the right direction, my man. Keep striving for greatness." That's DJ. DJ is all class. DJ's from Atlanta. Was sitting behind David Green at Georgia. Could have left, but decided to stay and only had one season. His senior year. That year they won an SEC title. And because of DJ's class and the way he's handled himself, the Athens Zoo named a bear after him. So he has a bear named DJ at the Athens Zoo there, because that's how much the people think about him.
Can we get something named after you in the Knoxville Zoo?
No.
What animal would you want to have named after you, though, in a zoo?
A tiger or a lion.
I'd want a bald eagle named after me.
Why? Because you balding in the back like Jason Witten?
Ha. Oh. At least I have hair.
Hey, this is about choice.
Yeah, okay. Let's grow your hair out for a month.
Well, see, what happened was, I mean, I can grow it out. I just don't like the way my hair looks grown out.
You'll be balding like Jason Witten in the back.
I would not be bald in the back, man.
Well, Jason Witten.
I got a receding hairline, but no balding in the back.
Jason
so I would
Witten,
never be like Stan Van Gundy like you gonna be here in a couple of years.
Jason Witten got that miracle hairline though. Witten got it where it went way back here, and then all of a sudden it popped back up here.
Witten is the white LeBron.
Out of nowhere.
He sprinkled some of that Miracle Girl on there.
Jason Witten is the white LeBron, man. Because LeBron's head one time looked like the Liberty Bell at one point. And then now LeBron has a full head of hair.
Beautiful lock.
And then Jason Witten had the Stan Van Gundy going on now last year as a player.
I think it was worse than the Stan
And now
Van
he looks
Gundy.
like, his hair looks like Marv Levy. Not Marv Levy, but Marv Albert.
Marv Albert, yeah.
Yeah, Marv Albert. Like, man, where'd you get that hair from?
What a miracle.
Think about the bald eagle. Nothing attacks it. And it just sits up on its perch all day. And it's just, it symbolizes the United States of America.
Oh my God! Are you running for office?
No.
You trying to be?
You should be. That was a beautiful answer.
Trying to be the governor?
My grandpa and I had that conversation over the weekend, and he asked me if I came back as an animal, what animal would it be? And I initially said, I think a dolphin or a lion or something of that nature.
You said a dolphin?
Yeah, dolphins are cool. I like dolphins.
They're smart. They're really smart.
Exactly.
A dolphin in Hawaii would be the dopest.
And he said I would come back as a bald eagle. Think about it. Nobody messes with you. You can pretty much snatch up anything you want that's on the ground, and you're beautiful.
Yeah. It's a good point.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
Leo from Harlem Valley says peacock. Peacock Jason at the Knoxville Zoo.
We need this. We need to make this happen.
Leo, I'm telling you that you're number one in my head right now. I just can't like visually show you how much I think you're number one, but I think you're number one right now. Okay.
Trev and Kyle on the text box both said the same thing.
Peacock?
A lot of sentiment for there to be a peacock named Swain at the zoo.
We need to start an online petition. Tennessee fans do this best. We can start an online petition for Jason Swain.
Now, why would y'all do that? I thought y'all cared about me.
We do. That's why we're trying to get
that was only doing recruiting. That was only doing recruiting.
No.
Oh, I got it.
No, we love you so much that we want an animal at the Knoxville Zoo named after you.
Peacock?
In your honor. A peacock.
So DJ gets a bear, and y'all trying to give me a peacock?
If not a peacock, then like a flamingo or something like that.
A flamingo?
Stands on one leg.
What?
What kind of friend are you, man? DJ gets a bear, and y'all trying to give me a peacock.
What about a giraffe? Honestly, I've never been to the Knoxville Zoo, and I don't know what animals that they have.
It's a zoo, man.
Well, I understand that, but
it ain't like it's a Tennessee.
But my point in saying that,
a bear's a bear.
I guarantee you, the Knoxville Zoo doesn't have as many of the bigger animals as like the Nashville Zoo or the Memphis Zoo.
God. We gotta talk to Chris Lowe.
Well, ask Chris Lowe what animal you come back as. Something from Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably one of those bears that dance at the carnival stuff, because Hollywood, right?
Well, he would be. You ever hear those stories about the cougars in the Hollywood Hills? If you ever know anybody that's lived in that area, they're like cougars that roam around in the residential areas. So maybe he would be one of those cougars.
Yeah, I don't know about.
I know who would come back as a circus animal. An intern who resides in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh, he'd be a snake. 865-255-03. We got Chris Lowe, ESPN, coming up next. Stay with us.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ has a new slew of daily specials for the fall. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the smokehouse stew, barbecue cheddar meatloaf, or the smoked turkey and dressing, which includes sliced smoked turkey and cornbread dressing paired with sautéed Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and a side of turkey gravy. While Dead End offers a different specialty meal each day, you can get their hillbilly chili every day. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The fall flavor search is over.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells and what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in regenerative therapy.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
If you aren't following the Swain Event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Now we're joined by Chris Lowe, the one, the only, and he is a real superstar during this time of the year because you have coaches being either let go or they're on the move, changing jobs, and Chris Lowe knows it all, man. So, Chris, let's not beat around the bush. I know you know who's going to be the new offense coordinator at Tennessee.
Well, I tell you what, Swain, if you buy me lunch today at noon at Dead End, I'll tell you.
Oh, it's a bribe. Oh.
Okay. All right, deal.
What's the special today? You know, you always do the specials. What's the special Dead End today?
Today's special.
Is it the sliders today?
The sliders today.
Ooh.
Swain and I are just familiar with Tuesday, which is
the
meatloaf.
Oh, the meatloaf. I've heard. I was.
No, deal,
I
Chris.
was raving about the meatloaf.
Deal. I'm holding you to it. You can't just throw that out there as a joke. Deal.
Listen, anytime I get to see you break bread with you, Swain, it's a good day, no matter what the stakes are.
All right, 12 o'clock, done. Chris is going to tell me who the offensive coordinator is going to be.
You know, Jeremy Pruitt, believe it or not, does not seek my advice on his coaching hires. But I can tell you that he's got several guys on his list, and one of those is Hugh Freeze. I think Hugh Freeze is a real possibility. I don't know that he's the guy that is at the head of that list, but he's somebody that I do expect Jeremy to talk with. And I think Hugh could help Tennessee. He could help Jeremy. He knows the league. His offense is proven. He spent some time at Alabama last year before the season. In fact, when Saban was trying to hire him before the SEC sort of squashed that, a lot of what he talked with Nick and the staff about, they ran this year on offense at Alabama. Now, it helps to have Tua Tagovailoa and Jerry Jeudy and Josh Jacobs in that crowd and that offensive line. But I do think Freeze is in it, and I think that he will be given serious consideration. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, wait a minute, what about the baggage, that kind of thing. If Jeremy decides that's who he wants and that's the best fit, then I think it'll happen. Well, the SEC, the one thing I have heard is the SEC still might put potentially some kind of restrictions, at least for the first year or the spring, recruiting restrictions on Freeze. Maybe so many times he can go off campus recruiting. I don't think that will be anything long term. And I don't think, again, if that's what Jeremy wants to do, I don't think that will be a deal breaker. Now, there are other guys that I think he wants to talk to. I think he wants to definitely talk to Dan Enos, quarterback's coach now at Alabama, who's the former OC at Arkansas, head coach at Central Michigan. Chip Lindsey, who's now at Auburn. I think Lindsey's out of there at OC. I think he wants out. It will be a guy that he likes to talk. Freddie Kitchens is another guy that I know Jeremy thinks he's a good football coach. Kitchens, of course, the former quarterback at Alabama. He's in the NFL now. And another guy I would put in that mix would be Brian McClendon. You know, Jeremy tried to get him last year, and Muschamp made him the OC at South Carolina. It'd take a lot of money to get him, but, you know, they were paying Tyson Helton, what, 1.1, 1.2 million?
1.2 too much.
Yeah, so I don't think McClendon's making that at South Carolina. So, you know, that's another guy. Plus, McClendon's a really good recruiter. But, see, I think the offensive coordinator position, it's a bonus if that guy can recruit.
Yeah.
But that's a job. To me, that and the O-line job are positions on your staff where you better have guys who can coach. And if they can recruit, great. If not, as long as they can coach and draw ball plays, as the head ball coach would say, and develop guys, then recruiting is an afterthought.
Chris Lowe here on the Swain Event, ESPN.com, at CLowe ESPN on Twitter is how you can follow him. Think about Freddie Kitchens, Chris. Austin Price yesterday mentioned that because of the NFL timeline, with the NFL season not being over until, what were we talking about, January? I mean, the Browns ain't going to the playoffs. So, but still, I know Pruitt has early signing period coming up here in a couple weeks. Does that timeline probably hurt Tennessee's chances to bring in Freddie Kitchens?
Well, it doesn't make it ideal. But again, if I know Jeremy knows Kitchens and has a relationship with him, if you know, as he does his homework and talks to people, if he feels like Kitchens is the best guy, just like the potential recruiting restrictions with Freeze, I don't think it's a deal breaker. I don't think he feels like he's got to have a guy in place before the first signing date, unless he thinks it's going to cost him some of his offensive guys that they're in line to get. Then that maybe changes the narrative a little bit. But no, I don't think it's a deal breaker. Is it ideal? No. And again, I think as you go through this process, you talk to people and you talk to these guys, and you sort of self-scout where you need to get better. And I think the other thing too, Jason, that's big in this hire is you want to make sure your staff chemistry is good.
Bingo.
You know, I mean, you don't want to bring in somebody that's, you know, potentially is not going to be A, a good teammate, or B, somebody that the rest of the staff doesn't embrace, or they don't all sort of share the same vision, you know, and that's important. We've seen that on a lot of we've seen it in Tennessee, and I've seen it on a lot of different staffs where you bring in a guy who's a pretty good football coach, but the chemistry is just not right. And boy, that can be, you talk about something that can really sort of screw up a program, screw up a staff. I think all those things are factors as he tries to make this hire. But more than anything, he's got to get somebody to come in and get this offense to a point where it can be dynamic, where they can score some points, be creative, and play complementary football. You know, that's what the best programs do. Clemson does it. Alabama does it. Everybody talks about, you know, you look at some of the offenses in the Big 12, they score. But, you know, in the SEC, it's a little bit different. You know, you got to play sometimes to protect your defense. You got to play a way on offense that sort of complements everything else you want to do. And I think all these things, again, it's not, I always say this, it's not fantasy coach search. Okay, it's not like, all right, here are the 3 or 4 best offensive minds. Let's go get them. Well, to me, the fit and what you want to do and what your system is and what you think your staff chemistry is going to be, all those things are a whole lot more important.
Chris, how would you evaluate Pruitt after year one in a general sense? How do you think he's done?
I think solid. I mean, I don't think it was great, but I don't think it was poor either. And I think, you know, we said at the outset, we talked about Jeremy. I told you guys, I said, listen, it's going to be a pretty steep learning curve for him as a head football coach and all the things that go into being a head coach, you know, from managing your program to managing personnel to, you know, all the things on the periphery. You know, you being the face of the program. And I think Jeremy will tell you he's a lot better at that now than he was, you know, in August because he's gone through it. I mean, anybody. I would be. You would be. All of us would be. So I think he was solid. I think the best thing he has done is he sort of gotten to the core of things with his players. And he's coached ball, and he's been real with them, and he's been honest, and he's pushed them, and he's challenged them. I use this analogy a lot. He's a bull in a china shop, and I think where the program was, it sort of needed that. But now he's got to grow. He's got to grow as a head coach, and I think he will grow. We know he can recruit. He's a dogged recruiter. He's got great connections. But being a good head coach, a big part of that is hiring a good staff and hiring a staff that fits what you want to do. And he's probably still working through that. We see Tyson now going to Western Kentucky as head coach. This is a big hire for Jeremy, getting this offensive coordinator hire right as he goes forward. I thought, to be fair, the way the season ended, because I thought there were gains this year, without question. There were strides made. The win at Auburn, the complete game they played against Kentucky. But then to end the season with such a whimper was disappointing. And that team looked, to me, spent, emotionally spent, physically, mentally spent. And I think they did back off a little bit. But maybe if you had it to do over again, you backed off a little bit more because they did not play their best football those last 2 weeks. And defensively, they didn't look real equipped against veteran passers. Now, a big part of that's personnel. They got to get faster. I mean, Swain, I know we've talked about this. They look slow. Well, they are slow.
The molasses.
Yes. Compared to who you play in the SEC. And no matter how much Jeremy schemes it up, you can't fix that until you recruit more speed. But the Vanderbilt game was disappointing in that. Well, if you look at it from a Tennessee perspective, it's disappointing on three fronts. Number one, Vanderbilt was just better. They were physically better, and they didn't beat Tennessee; they beat them up. Number two, Vanderbilt was much more invested in that game than Tennessee was, and that's more coaching. That's more preparation and coaching and leadership on the team. All those things, again, are things that can improve, but no question, they were more invested in that football game. And I think the third thing is that Vanderbilt just looked more equipped all the way around to win that football game, physically, mentally, emotionally, better prepared. I mean, Jeremy said a lot of this himself, and that's the third year that Vanderbilt's clearly been better than Tennessee. And I know Tennessee fans get mad when you say that, but that's sort of where it is right now.
It's true.
That's where it is. I mean, I looked this up. I don't have the numbers in front of me, Swain, but if you look at the last 3 years in the East, the SEC East, guess who's got the worst record against conference teams?
I don't want to guess.
No, you already know the answer.
Tennessee Vols.
So, hey, I'm not kicking, I'm not kicking the Vols when they're down. A lot of people accuse me of doing that.
It's the truth, Chris.
It's where they are, and we know where they need to get to, and what it's going to take, and that's the reality of it. For somebody like me, 53, it was in school in the 80s. I was there when I was in New Orleans when Tennessee beat Miami, Sugar Bowl, and Testaverde, and Jimmy Johnson, and that sort of started a run a little bit. And you had Johnny's best years, 89 and 90, 91, where they were top 10 pro teams, won the SEC, and then Phillip took it to another level with national championships, pretty much all the 90s. Well, I mean, somebody like me, my age, and my radius of age, we think of Tennessee football in those terms.
Yeah.
But that's not where it is right now.
No.
It's just not. And that's the goal, to get back there. And it's going to take a lot of hard work, and it's going to take the university, from the president, the board on down, being perfectly aligned, doing the things it takes to be good in football. Clemson's mastered that. Alabama's mastered that. And I think with Phillip as AD, as a new president, board's changed a little bit. I think they got a better chance to do that, but it ain't going to happen overnight.
A couple names that you've mentioned, Chris, with the offensive coordinator search. Two of those guys, Dan Enos and Chip Lindsey. There's a little bit of some time, maybe some a sense of urgency. Let me say that because Chip Lindsey gets this $100,000 retention bonus if he's on the staff by Saturday, Mike Locksley, the offense coordinator at Alabama, said that he is not going to interview for the Maryland job until after the SEC championship game. I guess what I'm asking you is, it looks like Tennessee could possibly have a decision or have an offense coordinator within the week. And my second part of the question is, I mean, it may sound crazy, but I mean, if you're approved, why would you not look at Mike Locksley too?
Well, I know he likes Locks a lot, and I know Locks very well. But I don't think it's realistic that Locksley's going to move from Alabama to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Would you?
I mean, if I didn't like working for Nick Saban, and
well, but and that's a little bit of a fallacy, and I know Nick very well. I mean, and Nick's tough, but he's not a lot tougher on his coaches than Jeremy Pruitt is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that Jeremy Pruitt is easier, but I do know that not every coach loves working for Nick Saban.
No, and you're 100% right on that. But sure. I mean, do you make that call? Yeah, I just don't think that's realistic.
Yeah,
I don't think Mike Locksley's going to leave Alabama. Plus, I think Locks, with the way they played, I mean, he's a finalist for the Broyles Award this year, Mike is. And the way they played and the talent. Hey, look at the talent they've got coming back next year.
They all coming back, man.
Everybody.
Yeah,
all
the offense.
These guys are coming back.
Yeah.
Why would you leave that Maserati?
That's a good question.
I mean, to go drive I'm not even. I'm not going to say the mall, but why would you do that right now in your career? Plus, I think Mike, with this success and the fact that he's a finalist for the Broyles Award, I think he's going to have a chance to be a head coach at some place.
He's a finalist for the Broyles Award with Bob Shoop. How about that, Chris?
Bob Shoop, yeah. I'm glad you said that. I was thinking about this yesterday at the gym, believe it or not. And I'll tell you what, we'll go eat today, and after we eat, we'll go hit the gym, Swain. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, let's go hit it.
Think of all the assistant coaches, and it's it's my alma mater. I don't want to sound like I'm picking on Tennessee, because you could probably make this case about a lot of schools in the SEC. But think of all the assistants, and certainly coordinators that have come through Tennessee over the years that just caught unimaginable grief from the media and the fan base.
Yep.
About not being any good or being over their head or they're washed up, and then they go elsewhere. And they're $1 million. I mean, even at the end, there are a lot of people who were down cut. I mean, they absolutely, and I say they, I mean, I include the media in that too, not just the fan base. They were just eviscerated Randy Sanders. Let me tell you this. Randy Sanders, everybody who's ever coached with him or played for him, guys who've been quarterbacks under him, rave about him. And look at what he's done at East Tennessee State. He did a marvelous job this year at East Tennessee State.
I got a couple names here. How about Harry?
Dave Clawson.
Dave Clawson. How about
Bob Shoop?
Bob Shoop. How about Harry Heastan?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's another one.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame. Huh?
A lot of them are down on Jim Chaney.
Yeah, Chaney.
I know for a fact, two of the people that had they gotten this job last year, and Jeremy might have even tried. We're going to try to get Jim Chaney back as OC because they like his ability. But again, I don't know if that's a lot different than it would be at a lot of schools. I'm here, I live here, so I hear it more. But it's uncanny the number of coaches and coordinators that have come through this program over the last 10 years that have just been absolutely beat down.
Yep.
That go on to be, and it just proves that sometimes all of us, and I include myself in this equation, when people are here, and you're right there next to them, and you see them every day, you don't appreciate them. I mean, that staff that Philip had that were together for so long, and everybody talked about it, they'd gotten stale, and and continuity was not a good thing. The reality is he had one hell of a staff, and that's a big reason they were able to recruit, play the way they did. That continuity. When you start talking about Cut and Chief and all those guys that were there forever, that Dan Brooks, Steve Caldwell. You look back on things, and as I've gotten older, things in your life take root when you get older. you know, and my first year coverage UT was 97. And I probably, even being as close to the program as I was and seeing it every day, did not appreciate it, especially now that I'm out, go all over the country and see staffs, how good that staff really was. But you're right. I'm glad you brought that up, Swain, because it's amazing all these guys that have been here, that have gone on and been really good football coaches and done very well in different capacities since they've been through here.
Well, Chris, going off of that, to me, Chip Lindsey falls into that same department of coaches who are going to end up with a bad rap because of the environment they're in down at Auburn. What do you feel about that situation with Chip Lindsey and Gus Malzahn down there on the Plains?
Yeah, I agree. He's in a no-win situation there, Chip is, and I know he wants out. And it's just Gus is one of those guys, like a lot of offensive guys that are head coach, that just can't let go of the offense. And I think because of that, Chip's been strapped.
Let it go.
And I think that's why he's ready to get out of there. And he's a guy, you know, again, you talk to people and people I trust in football that worked with him, coached against him. They all rave about it. So I think he's ready for a new challenge and get out somewhere else where he can be his offense. And that's the thing about, you know, I think typically, you know, when you go work for somebody as a defensive guy, they're going to let you run the offense. And that, I mean, they're not going to be on your case. Just go ask Tyson Helton. Because we know Jerry was on him pretty good. But that's why it goes back to fit and the vision all sort of meshing and playing complementary football. I mean, again, Nick's is hard on his offensive coordinators. People talk about Nick Saban being hard to work for and being his defensive coordinator because he's always looking over his shoulder. And that's partly true. But I can promise you, being Nick's offensive coordinator is a lot harder than it's been his defensive coordinator because he believes fully in playing and the whole concept of playing complementary football.
Yep.
And you're going to do things on offense that fit the whole picture. And I think that's what it's important for Jeremy to find at Tennessee.
What would you say to the folks that simply look at Auburn's offensive numbers? Because most folks don't have the insight that you have, you know, Chris, to be able to talk to folks, or me. I don't have enough people like you, but I can make some phone calls and talk to people here and there. But most folks will just get on Wikipedia, look at the stats of Auburn and go, well, he's offensive coordinator. Stats not good. Well, oh, duh, he's not good. What would you say to those folks that maybe criticize Chip Lindsey as offensive coordinator based on Auburn stats alone offensively?
Well, again, I don't think he's running. It's not him running the whole show.
Yeah,
and I think that's the big thing. And Auburn, and I'll say this: Gus told me last year when I was through there that he was really, really worried about his offensive line and their youth, their inexperience. They had some guys hurt, and they've just been ill-equipped in the offensive line this year to do much of anything. Does it sound familiar? I mean, you can have the speediest skill guys and good running backs, but if you're not very good up front, and that's where, and to me, that's where it's got to start with Tennessee. Is they've got to get that fixed. Whoever comes in, they've got to get the offensive line fixed. They've got to get the right combination. They've got to get healthy. They've got to play better. You know, I know everybody's going to say you're dogging on Will Friend. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I think it's the whole. It's everybody, and the guys there, the players, have to take it upon themselves to get better. But that's where, as I watched Tennessee play this year, there just never was a lot of confidence, continuity, all the things you see in good offensive lines. And part of that was they had some of their best players that were hurt. You know, when you take Trey Smith out of the equation, you put a healthy Trey Smith, bless his heart, that changes things, significantly. But they've just got to get better and be better in the offensive line. I think that's the first place to start.
Chris, what's your take on T. Martin and Clay Helton in that entire situation?
Well, I'm sorry for T because, when things go bad at a place like that, there's always going to be guys that are quote-unquote scapegoats that sort of get sacrificed. It's much the same way to draw a parallel here closer to home. When things started to go dip a little bit at Tennessee, who was the scapegoat at Tennessee?
Randy Sanders. Yep.
very comparable to that. And does T have some things that he needs to improve on, get better at? Sure, he'll tell you that. But he's not the whole reason. I mean, they were playing a kid at quarterback who was 18 years old. I think there was some indecision about who they wanted to be offensively, be more physical. But I don't know that the offensive line again was equipped to play that way. And you got a coach, and I like Clay a lot. You got a coach that's fighting to keep his job, and I'm sure was told by Lynn Swan, you got to do this, 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 and this. You know, if we're going to go another year. And I think that's what happened. Listen, T's resilient. I texted with T. Yes, he'll bounce back. You know, I had a chance to visit with T twice or 2 or 3 times in the last year out there, and he loves living out there. His wife loves living out there. This will tell you a lot about T. When I texted with him yesterday, just checking in with him because I know T a long time. I mean, I covered T most of his career at Tennessee. He was at his son's baseball game when we talked, and he said that's where he needed to be.
Yep.
T's family's awfully important to him, and he'll bounce back. He'll get another shot, and it may be he may start back as a position coach somewhere or whatever. I'm not saying that's a definite, but he'll get another shot, and I'd say having gone through this experience at a high-pressure place like that, he'll be even better.
Tennessee, maybe Tennessee is a position coach. Maybe.
I don't know.
Hopefully,
I don't know that he.
Maybe closer.
I don't know. I don't know where. I don't know where he would fit in. I don't know how he would feel about coming back here as a position coach. You know. But he's going to get a shot. He's engaging. He's a great recruiter. He's had this experience as a play caller now at SC. He's had to do it this year with a really young quarterback. All those things will help him down the road, and it's just part of the business. You know, everybody when you coach the place like SC and things don't go right, there are going to be people who get sacrificed, and T just got sort of caught up in that. And that's not to say that he doesn't bear some of the responsibility, because when you're the offensive coordinator, the offense sort of goes belly up. You know, it's always going to be part of your responsibility. But it's sort of going back to the Chip Lindsey comparison. I mean, I know Clay was a lot more involved in the offense this year. So we'll see. But T's one of my favorites, and I know we're not supposed to there's no cheering in the press box in my profession, but I got a lot of respect for T. Martin and sort of the way he's going through the profession and the kind of guy he is.
Les Miles is back at Kansas. Mack Brown is back at North Carolina. This means that Philip Fulmer's next in line to be the next head coach somewhere, right? No, I'm kidding. But what are your thoughts on Mack Brown returning to coaching and what he can potentially do at North Carolina?
I think Mack's got a better chance for success than Les does at Kansas. And that's not because I don't think Les can coach. I just think that's such a hard job at Kansas. In that league, I'll tell you this, the way he scored points in the Big 12, Les better get him a dynamic offensive coordinator. We better not see anything remotely resembling the offense he tried to run at LSU. But Les can recruit. He's engaging. He's a name. I understand why Kansas hired him, because it gives him a name recognition. Mack's a guy that I think will immediately, with the high school coaches in that state, because when he was there the first time this happened, he will rekindle those relationships. They like him. There's a lot of good players in that state. Look at the players in North Carolina, guys, that did not play at North Carolina over the last 4, 5, 6 years, that went to Georgia or Tennessee or Florida State or Alabama. I mean, Ty Gurley's a North Carolina kid. I mean, there's a ton of those guys over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And I think Mack will put the program in a position where they have a better chance to recruit those guys and keep them home. And listen, nobody communicates better than Mack Brown. Nobody talks to people and forms relationships and makes you feel important. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know Mack, having worked with him at ESPN in the last few years. He is a dynamic personality, and I think he will hire a good staff. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get that program. Not that they're going to start winning ACC championships again, But there are a lot of coaches in their 60s who are doing good work. David Cutcliffe, Coach Ferentz at Iowa, Nick Saban, 67. I mean, look here. Look, it's a different sport. But I texted with Rick Barnes last night. What is Rick, 62, 63? Everybody said he was washed up, too old. Look what he's done with the Tennessee basketball program. So, I mean, Steve Spurrier had South Carolina in the top 10 for 3 straight years when he was 67, 68, 69. And I know it didn't end well for Steve. Regrettably, it ended very poorly. But he still, I think, to me, if you got it, you got it. I don't care what age you are.
Great stuff as always, my friend Chris. I guess I'll be seeing you here in a few minutes.
You call me, Swain. We'll work out the details, man.
Call you or call your agent?
My agent's the same as yours, except you're higher on the pecking order than I am.
Well, we got the same agent as T. Martin. We got Rock Nation. Remember?
That's right.
Jay-Z and the crew.
Last I checked, Mr. Lowe was on Feinbaum this week, and I don't believe Jason Swain has been on Feinbaum this week.
Boom, boom, boom. Take that, C-Lo.
All right, Hollywood Night.
All right, man. See you. Thanks. Man. Chris Lowe, ESPN. His time is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, specializing in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics, treating damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow and foot problems by injecting with stem cells, PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, and this form of treatment is performed under ultrasound guidance. And by doing so, it stimulates the body's own reparative process and allow the healing of damaged tissue. The human body is remarkable. The ability to heal itself, if you do the proper things, it can heal itself. You don't have to pump yourself with all these dangerous medications. There's other options, and Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine is a better option for you than having surgery or maybe just continue to take that dangerous medicine. Give them a call and let them find out if their services is right for you. For me, it was right for me. And knee, ankle, my wife even had procedures done there at Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. And it's made a huge difference in her everyday life, because if you are in pain, it affects you. It affects you for sure. It affects your mood. It affects your energy, and we don't want that at all. So give trsportsmedicine.com a visit there on the website, or give them a call. 865-200-5503. We got For What coming up next.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Gentlemen, when it comes to taking care of your health, sometimes the first step is the hardest. Low T Center is making it easier to take that first step. It all starts with knowing the numbers that are essential to a man. Testosterone levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, prostate, and thyroid. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get all these levels checked and more. Low T Center specializes in men's health and has expanded their services, including sleep apnea, low thyroid, hypertension, severe allergies, high cholesterol, diabetes, and annual physicals, along with testosterone replacement therapy. The physicians at Low T Center not only want to help you feel good again, they want to help you prevent any serious health problems moving forward. Now, with the holistic approach to your overall health and wellness, Low T Center is making it more convenient for men to take care of their health, and most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify for you. Take the first step for your health and call 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388, or go to lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare.
Beatty Chevrolet is celebrating 85 years of low prices. And during Truck Month, choose from over 400 trucks and SUVs, all deeply discounted. Like a new Silverado, now 25% off. A new Equinox, now 20% off. And a certified pre-owned 15 Equinox or Terrain, now $16,995. Plus, buy with confidence with the Beatty warranty for life.
Big selection and even bigger savings. That's why it's better at Beatty Chevrolet.
Stock number 232, savings off MSRP, include all dealer savings and manufacturer incentives with approved credit list finance through GMF. Offer expires 8/31/18.
Big Orange football is better alongside another Tennessee tradition, Mrs. Grissom's salad. Mrs. Grissom's ready-made snacks and meals are perfect for game day. Crowd favorites like the select pimento cheese and cranberry pecan chicken salad are delicious and easy to grab and go right from the grocery store. Going to the game? Visit Mrs. Grissom's in Vol Village for the must-have panini grilled pimento cheese hot dog. Man, select the best. Select Tennessee's own Mrs. Grissom's.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
Today will be sunny with a high of 50 and a low of 33. Tomorrow, give thanks with more sunshine, a high near 53 and a low around 34. Friday, even more sun with a high in the low 50s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement, or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain Event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry. Dan Mullen posing awkwardly with recruits.
For what?
Gators working out wearing costumes.
For what?
Vanderbilt making a sorority-style video.
For what?
Aaron Murray and David Pollock opening their mouths.
For what?
865-255-03. We got for what right now, and got a few. I have 2. Months ago, Reuben Foster was accused of domestic violence there with the 49ers, and it was best then to kind of wait and see what happens. He was accused, and it came out that he was falsely accused. He was not punished. Charges were dropped, moved forward. Well, looks like this is the same female that's involved, and Reuben Foster found himself in trouble again. Reuben Foster sent vile and inexcusable messages on domestic violence. Redskins sent this inexcusable message by signing or claiming Reuben Foster off of waivers because the 49ers cut him because Reuben Foster was arrested for domestic violence after he was arrested in Florida, in a Florida hotel. The 49ers were playing there, down there in Florida, and the incident happened at a hotel. Reuben Foster was arrested. 49ers cut him. Didn't take long, but the Washington Redskins claimed him off waivers. What are we doing, NFL?
And this was, they claimed him even with this stipulation where he's on the commissioner's, quote, exempt list, which means he cannot practice or attend games, but he can be at the team's facility on a quote-unquote reasonable basis for workouts, meetings, and other permitted non-football activities. There's no guarantee he will ever play for the team.
What are we doing, NFL? What are we doing? This makes no sense. You can have your opinion on the anthem protest. I respect it, whatever. But what are we doing when we have one person who didn't put his hands on anybody and another person who has a history of putting his hands on females? And he was claimed in days.
3 days after
what are we doing?
arrest.
What are we doing, NFL?
3 days.
This is a bad look. This is bad.
Well, the thing that I don't understand is that the Redskins, they have Jonathan Allen, who played at Alabama with Reuben Foster. I believe they overlapped a year or two. And then there's also Ryan Anderson. And you think that just because his boys are on the team that he's all of a sudden going to change the way he acts? I don't understand that thinking. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but just a bad situation.
Let me do one more. Actually, let's get to the phones, and let me save my other for what to after the break, and then your for what, Charlie's for what if you have one, until hour 3. Let's get to the phones. Let's get to Jay. Jay, good morning.
Swain, good morning.
Hey.
Swain, I got an idea, man.
Yes.
All right. Alabama changed the game when they hired Nick Saban, paying him that kind of salary. I think it was like $3 million a year, something like that. It had never been done before. It's crazy because that's low paid now, as we know. But
it's nothing.
That $3 million a year, or whatever he got, that had never been done before. People were saying it was ludicrous. That this is gonna blow up in their face. They actually got criticized for that, but they changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously not the same with an OC hire, but in a way, I would say Tennessee changed the game because you could, Judge Tim Irwin of VFL, Judge Tim Irwin, we all know, he said a couple weeks ago that he believed the people he talked to and the people he knows, that not only did Sam Pittman want to come back to Knoxville, but so did Jim Chaney. They would have came back and coached with Jeremy Pruitt. Go offer at least Jim Chaney some stupid money to see what he does. Now, I know that's not going to happen, and this is a pipe dream, but that's what I would do. If I was still a Fulmer, I'd say if I talked to Pruitt, I would go offer him some stupid coordinator money and just make him say no. Because you know he's worth it. He's a great coordinator. Him running the offense, Pruitt running that defense, you build this roster up because you need some talent. That could win championships.
Good stuff, Jay. I love Chaney. I love me Sam Pittman. Pittman loves Knoxville. Last time I talked to him was 2012. And he told me he did not want to leave Knoxville, that he loved Knoxville. And so he has a lot of good feelings about this area of the country. No doubt about it. We'll see what happens, though. Hugh Freeze is definitely in play. 865-255-03. Hour 3 coming up.
If you love the Swain Event and you want more of the show every day, you can now get it with Swain Event Plus. Swain Event Plus features exclusive, in-depth interviews with former Vols.
She saved my life. I probably would have never made the tournament, man. I looked at him and said, Coach, no disrespect. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to play in the SEC.
With Swain Event Plus, you can also get access to the exclusive podcast Reel on the Hill with Tennessee media legend John Bryce.
What is going on there with that battle?
I had lunch with some folks over the course of this past week who indicated some inside the program believe that Jarrett Garantano is really ready to take that next step.
So go to SwainEventPlus.com right now to sign up and check out all of the amazing extras that you can get. That's SwainEventPlus.com. Get more.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers?
Feel like you again. Let us help.
More than 23 million Americans have diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes increases your chance of kidney disease, leg and foot ulcers, and even limb amputation. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and the vascular surgeons at Premier Surgical Associates urge those with diabetes to keep it under control. Manage your blood sugar levels, exercise, don't smoke, and get regular checkups. It's also important to keep your feet and legs healthy. Diabetes makes it harder for wounds and infections to heal. Diabetes is a chronic condition, but it can be managed. Visit premiersurgical.com right now for more information. Premier Surgical Associates. Expertise you can trust.
You're listening to the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com.
So, we love it when a coach takes up for his player. Love it. Great. Will Muschamp takes up for his player, Jake Bentley. But look like a doofus doing it. I appreciate Will Muschamp's energy, his passion. I'm a Will Muschamp fan, to be honest. As just a pure football guy, I know people that know Will Muschamp, that's played for Will Muschamp. I would love to play for Will Muschamp, with that type of intensity. But Will Muschamp, when talking about Jake Bentley's performance against Clemson, who had a career high of 510 yards, 5 touchdowns against Clemson, in a 56-35 L. 56-35. Blowout. Will Muschamp says, I do think it's important when a young man does some special things to get recognized for it. He's the first quarterback in Eastern Conference history to have that many yards against a top 5 team, and he had 5 touchdowns. In the history of the league, that's never been done before. That's pretty impressive in my opinion. We have a saying in the SEC, it just means more. It just means more sometimes depending on what your logo is. Call it like it is. Next question, I'm going to defend our kids and make sure we all understand that I work for South Carolina. Now, I appreciate Will Muschamp taking up for his players. But Will, y'all got waxed.
The SEC does not give SEC Player of the Week honors to a member of a losing team for that weekend, regardless of the stats.
If it was like a close game and maybe you lost, something like that, maybe. But how do you give the award over Kyle Shermer, who was like Brett Favre out there, or Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady out there playing Tennessee? He's always looked like that against Tennessee. But the dude was like efficient as all get out. I think his completion percentage was the same thing as Steph Curry's free throw percentage.
Who, Kyle Shermer?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and in his 3 games against Tennessee throughout his career, over 1,000 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 76% completion percentage. I believe he was 31 of 35 on Saturday.
He was cooking. And his team won.
Do you think Kyle Shermer's an NFL quarterback? Because I do.
Backup.
Matt Sims was an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Tyler Bray is still an NFL quarterback.
And Pat
Shermer,
his daddy, who's the head coach for the Giants.
Yep.
So,
he's the son
of course.
Yeah, I could see. I don't think he's going to have like an Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes type NFL career, but I think he's. It will not surprise me if 2 or 3 years from now we look up and he's the starting quarterback of a team.
Nathan Peterman was on the roster.
But when I say starting quarterback, I mean
you don't have to be a starting quarterback to be in the NFL.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Do you think he has the potential to be a fairly productive starting quarterback in the NFL?
I don't know. He has the opportunity to be on an NFL roster. And that's the first step you got to make.
He'll be on the Giants roster next year with his daddy.
I mean, if you look at the 49ers with Mullins and, like, just get on the roster. You just never know what might happen. How about Tony Romo, who all he did was just get on the roster, and then he blew up. Just get on the roster. I think Kyle Sherman can be on the NFL roster. But to sit here and try to project him as an NFL quarterback and how successful he's going to be. I don't know that because a lot of factors play into it.
I guess my point in bringing that up was that I just think he's a really good college football player.
I do too.
Back to the comment. That was your second for what?
That's my second for what. I do have another for what.
Well, what before you move to your next for what? What's the worst comment? That with Will Muschamp or Willie Taggart last week saying that Florida is Gator bait and his favorite Thanksgiving side was gator bait or whatever he said.
Gator meat.
Gator meat.
He says his favorite Thanksgiving side was gator meat, and all I tweeted was, Willie.
Yeah, put that in reverse, Terry.
Willie, don't do that, Willie. Willie, come on, Willie. You don't want that smoke. Willie, don't do that. And they got drug. All right, so hold on to your seatbelts for this one. Strap in for this for what? Okay? If you're drinking coffee, you might want to swallow right now. Do not have a coffee or any drink in your mouth when I read this for what, because you will spit it out.
Spit it on the person beside you, not on yourself. Yeah.
Here we go. 2 Florida men are accused of breaking into their ex-boyfriend's home and using ragu sauce to try and burn it down. Derek Irvin, 36, John Silva, 28, was arrested on March 13th after allegedly breaking in the home and stealing several items, including a flat-screen television, a window AC unit, and a vacuum, according to Orlando television station. The victim called 911 after being alerted by security cameras of motion being detected in the house. He said a towel had been placed over one of the cameras. Ooh, man, that was James Bond right there.
Smart.
Arriving deputies saw a red SUV leaving the area and conducted a stop. The 2 men inside the vehicle, later identified as Irvin and Silva, said they were just picking up clothes from the home. The victim told the news station WKMC that Irvin was wearing a bull costume.
Well, they really buried the lead on that one.
The men initially denied the burglary, but when authorities went to the home, they found a burning pot of ragu sauce and a washcloth near the stove's burner, which appeared to be in an effort to start a fire. He was trying to make it look like I left the stove on, but who gets up at 2 a.m. and fixes spaghetti, the victim said. Both were charged with unarmed burglary and grand theft and arson. Silva is being held on $25,000 bond, and while Irvin is serving behind bars without bond. So this happened like a couple months ago, but still.
I think the funniest thing in that, the quote from the victim, you read it as he said, "Who makes spaghetti at 2 a.m.?" But the actual quote says, "Who gets up at 2 a.m. and fixes sketty?"
Yeah, sketty.
It just says sketty.
Yeah, he says sketty. Who fixes sketty?
Who fixes sketty at 2 a.m.? Wow.
Why was he wearing a bull costume?
Classic Florida stuff.
What are you doing, man? Was it Halloween? No, it was March. It wasn't November. October. Excuse me. October. Halloween. A lot of things going on here. Here's the headline, though. Florida man, one disguised in a bull costume, allegedly tries to burn down ex-boyfriend's home with spaghetti sauce.
This is a doozy of a headline.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up at all. 865-200-5503, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's take a look at the text box. I'm pretty sure it's buzzing today.
Oh, it's a doozy.
What we got?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot about is Hugh Freeze back in it. A lot of joking about you being a peacock at the Knoxville Zoo. Nacho says I can put an argument on Deebo Samuel as the offensive player over his quarterback Jake Bentley. D. Cody says I'm a Skins fan and it pisses me off. I'd rather have Kaepernick than McCoy or Sanchez, but yes, this is a big for what. I'm picking up Foster. The front office needs to be cleaned out.
And that was something when I heard Mark Sanchez is still in the NFL. Like, who knew?
It's ridiculous. Not only Mark Sanchez, but how about
Butt Fumble is still in the NFL?
Not only that, but how about Colt McCoy and Mark Sanchez being on the same team? Like, how is that possible?
Yeah, it's weird. Let's see here. Brandon in Texas. Swain, after following Selena Summers and watching her videos, is the whole McDaniel story legit? If so, as highly rated as McDaniel is, does Tennessee try to sign him? No need to fully get into conversation, just yes or no. And thanks for mentoring young men and not asking for anything in return. Great class, GBO. No, Tennessee is not trying to sign him. And since you asked me not to go further or I don't need to go further, I won't. So, no is the answer.
D'Arval asks, how good of recruiters are Enos and Lindsey?
Recruiters? Mm-hmm. Offensive coordinators really don't have to be great recruiters, honestly. I mean, they recruit by how they coordinate. They recruit by how they develop players.
And when recruits come to visit, sitting down with them and showing them how they'll be used within the offense. Correct.
So, I mean, Freeze will be great because he has connections, in Memphis or whatever. But other than that, you don't really expect a coordinator to be a great recruiter. Now, Chip Lindsey has ties in Alabama, high schools, stuff like that. But don't let somebody's recruiting prowess make you pick an OC or not pick an OC. The number one thing is, are they qualified, and is it a good fit? That's what should be more important than anything else. Al from PA says Swain would be a frog. Thanks. Because he snatches football out of the air, and like a frog snatches flies.
So are you still going with that sarcastic thanks that you threw in there before you read the entire message? Because really he's complimenting you, even though he did compare you to a frog.
Yeah, I know. But it is a compliment. I appreciate that.
I prefer Meacham as the frog in the Knoxville Zoo, if you ask me.
My hands are better than Meacham's. He's faster than me. He knows that. I know that. We
Fair
all
point.
know that. Chaney Pittman for 2019, Half PA. He wants Chaney and Pittman to run for office or something.
Here's a good question for you that you explained yesterday, and I believe a little bit on Monday. I've had somebody on Twitter tweet it at us and ask about it, and then somebody on the text box as well. Schiano had character issues, and so does Freeze. What is the difference?
A lot.
Come on. We know the difference. I mean, we know the difference, right? You don't touch Art Browse because of the violence on women. People don't want to touch Schiano because of his name or knowing and not knowing or whatever, just being mentioned with the whole Jerry Sandusky stuff. And that's just disgusting because that's young children. Young children, women, you don't touch. Hugh Freeze just called up some night girls. That's all he did. Not bad or good or whatever. I'm sorry. It's not good. It's certainly bad. But he's a grown man calling up other grown women. To me, it's like Bobby Petrino. It's bad, but it's like Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino had a job in like 5 minutes.
When it comes to stuff like that, what Hugh Freeze did, calling women of the night, so to speak, with things like that, I say, as long as it doesn't affect your on the field performance, because obviously that's going to create strife with your family. He's a married man, and I don't know any of the repercussions that happened off the field for him there. But as long as it doesn't affect your performance on the field, that stuff is your business. Now, if you're okay with violence against women, that's a completely different thing. Speaking of Art Briles and that entire situation, that's an entirely different thing. But your personal life is your business, and that's purely my opinion. I know there are people that don't agree with that, but that's how I view that.
It's illegal.
Yeah,
So
I guess don't
you engaging in illegal activities.
It's not illegal everywhere.
It's illegal here.
It's illegal here. That's true.
If you want to go coach in Nevada, you can do that. Go hang out with Lamar Odom in them. But here, it's illegal.
Too soon.
It ain't too soon. Lamar's okay now. He's away from the Kardashians.
Thank goodness.
Here, it's illegal. And if you are engaging in illegal activities while you're coaching, it's going to take away from your focus and concentration to do your job. So I get what you're trying to say, Charlie, but absolutely not. You can't be doing all those things you're doing. It is our business, and we had a defense coordinator that did a pretty good job on the football field, but had some things off the field that was affecting the chemistry with the staff, and he was no longer here. So we can sit here and say, "Hey, man, I don't care what Hugh Freeze does, just win ball games." Shut up.
That's why I said purely as long as it does not affect the performance of your job, and in the case you're referring to, it did.
But it will,
and that's true.
Yeah, it will, because you're breaking the law.
And I mean, you could see it. You could see it on Hugh Freeze when he was going out the door. He looked ragged, and it was absolute. Everything that was happening absolutely was affecting his performance at his job.
Well, he was dealing with that, and then he was also dealing with Larry Tunsil, dumb himself, setting his password to just password 1 2 3 4, or giving someone else's password, and then that blowing up in his face on NFL draft night. Like that is what also he had to deal with. So time heals. He made a mistake. He did. I think he deserves a second chance. I think if Tennessee doesn't do it, someone else will. And so that's why I said yesterday, I'll say it again today, it's worth having a really good discussion. And if I'm Jeremy Pruitt and I'm going to visit some recruits on the west side of Tennessee in Memphis, I mean, why not swing over there and meet with Hugh Freeze? I know a hotel. There's a hotel over there in Memphis.
Yeah, he can stay at the Peabody.
Yeah, man, stay at the Peabody over there. Yeah. Right down the street from your barbecue spot right there that you like. I mean, there's places in Memphis y'all can meet and chop it up, talk about Tennessee offense, talk about this personnel. I can see Hugh now. Ooh, man, Jeremy, man, this offensive line. Woo, you want me to run what? With that? Who we got coming in? I mean, we need to have that conversation. I think we should have that conversation with Hugh Freeze, no doubt.
I can see Hugh Freeze. We could definitely use a Michael Orr. Here's another question for you from Kenny Watson on Twitter. Are we specifically in the market for an OC that can coach the quarterbacks as well, or could we see something like Winky moving the quarterback coach and bringing in a running back coach?
I think you can see that depending on what Pruitt wants to do with that extra number on the defense side of the football. I mean, you got 3 coaches coaching the secondary. I mean, I love me some T. Fair. That's my guy. But when you look at the numbers, you got 3 dudes coaching secondary.
And do you really need 3 guys coaching secondaries when one of the guys is the head coach?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, is Pruitt going to take his hands off a little bit with the DBs? That answer is heck no.
And he shouldn't.
No, he's not. So if you need to make some things happen to bring in another coach on the offense and then slide a Winky to the quarterback's coach and get a running back coach, I think that would be ideal. I think that would be very ideal.
Which is where I want T. Martin to come in and slide on in.
You going to boot a VFL for a VFL?
Hey, it's business. It's not personal.
Hey, man, it is what it is. I'm
trying to win. I'm tired of losing to Vanderbilt every single year.
I get it, man. I get it. I understand. But those are possibilities. Those are things that could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but, I mean, it could happen, and I think it would be very, very beneficial. I think you need that peace of mind if you're Pruitt, that you don't have to look over on the offensive field because you know you got studs that can do the job. You spend your time on defense. That's the way it should be for Jeremy Pruitt. So use that extra guy on offense. 865-255-03. Hour 2 was brought to you by Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com. Get game day ready. Tons of deals and specials. Just follow them on the many social media platforms they have. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Alumni Hall UT. Hour 3. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
Gentlemen, when it comes to taking care of your health, sometimes the first step is the hardest. Low T Center is making it easier to take that first step. It all starts with knowing the numbers that are essential to a man. Testosterone levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, prostate, and thyroid. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get all these levels checked and more. Low T Center specializes in men's health and has expanded their services, including sleep apnea, low thyroid, hypertension, severe allergies, high cholesterol, diabetes, and annual physicals, along with testosterone replacement therapy. The physicians at Low T Center not only want to help you feel good again, they want to help you prevent any serious health problems moving forward. Now, with the holistic approach to your overall health and wellness, Low T Center is making it more convenient for men to take care of their health, and most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify for you. Take the first step for your health and call 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388, or go to lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. Their telephone number local, 865-392-1388. Several locations in Tennessee, Tri-Cities, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Chattanooga, right here in Knoxville, lowtcenter.com. Man, if you do not have the energy, if you do not have the mental clarity, the libido, make sure you give Low T Center a hard look. 865-200-5503. Let's get to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's bring in the Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning, individual.
Hey, got a little bit of cold going on my end of the town here. Got a little sore throat and a little croup going. And sound like you might have that going.
No, I got it because I was on the phones all day and I was like on the verge of losing my voice, and I've been trying to deal with that.
I'm with you though, Turkey Man. I'm suffering over here.
Y'all need to stay away from me.
Yeah,
Get you sick, man.
I'm feeling better today. But anyhow, I got a couple questions. I'm gonna get off here real quick. But my question is, how important is that OC position or the OC job that we're looking at for it to be stable for 2, 3, 4 years?
Well, Turkey Man, that is very, very important. That's a good question. Austin Price mentioned that yesterday. You can't get you a guy that's going to be here for just 1 year. That's why Hugh Freeze is so attractive, because he ain't going anywhere.
You think? I could see him leaving after a year.
And you don't have to pay him all that much because maybe he's not in high demand because other people are afraid to get him. So, I mean, you may be able to get him on the low, on the cheap. I don't see Hugh Freeze leaving after 1 year. I think he would have to build his image up, and I'm sure he wants to be a head coach again. But after 1 year, I don't see that happening. I think it's very important, Turkey Man, that you get a guy that's going to be here for more than just 1 year.
Hugh Freeze question. I'm going to get out of here and let you continue on. But I think last year that Saban wanted to hire him as an intern. Am I right or wrong?
You're correct.
Position. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was
not an intern, as an analyst, like a real analyst, not a fake analyst
well,
intern.
But it was in that regard there.
Yeah.
And the SEC had a problem with that. What would have changed from then to now?
Time.
I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one.
See you. That's Turkey Man's best phone call all month. That's a great phone call, Turkey Man.
I think Hugh Freeze is at high risk of leaving after 1 year because of what you just said. Time. Once a school sees that, okay, Tennessee kind of took the brunt of the fallback for hiring Hugh Freeze, we won't have to worry about it.
Why was it so easy for Lane Kiffin to leave after 1 year?
Of where?
Tennessee. Because Mike Hamilton failed to lock him in with a buyout. If you want to keep Hugh Freeze, Coach Fulmer, you lock him down with a huge buyout. If you want to come get Hugh Freeze, you have to pay us $1 kajillion so we can go out and get the next best OC. You lock him in with the buyout. You lock him in with the contract. That's what contracts are for.
And make it worth his while. Also say, maybe give performance incentives and say if such and such happens, then we'll give you this. And I mean, there are ways you can structure it to make it where he'll want to stay or be more incentivized to stay. I agree in a way, though, Ben. I mean, especially if he really flips this thing around and the offense looks really good next year, and I could see him being in high demand.
Contract.
And even with the contract, though, if a school really wants to come get him in today's climate with the money that's been thrown around in college football, a team will come get him.
You can't be afraid of that.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah, I mean,
no. I'm not.
I agree with you.
I'm not going to hire Hugh Freeze because I believe he's at risk of leaving after year one. But I do think he's at Tennessee at most 2 years. I think after 2 years he's gone.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
Is that enough stability though?
2 years.
Pointing back to Turkey Man's question.
2 years. Yeah, I'm cool with 2 years. 2 years or less. I mean, 2 years or more. I'm good with that. I can't do 1 year though. You don't think Chip Lindsey, when he gets here, if he gets rolling, whatever, he doesn't want to be a head coach? I want coordinators who want to be head coaches.
Yeah.
That's the nature of that position.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's a stepping stone position for most guys.
You get lucky getting a guy like Brent Venables who is cool with being a DC. Now, he's making a lot of money, but he's not in a hurry. Kirby Smart wasn't in a hurry at Alabama. You get that every once in a while, but I want coordinators who want to be a head coach. I want guys who are preparing to be a head coach, that carry themselves like a head coach. So that way the head coach doesn't have to micromanage. He doesn't have to look over your shoulder because he knows you're a head coach in waiting or a head coach in training. I don't care. Cool.
Yeah, no, I don't care either. It's just based off Turkey Man's question. I do think he is a guy that is more at risk of leaving than a Dan Enos or a Chip Lindsey after 1 year.
So let's just say Now, we do have to mention, excuse me, Dan Enos, Chip Lindsey, Freddie Kitchens, Brian McClendon. They're all being mentioned too. So don't want to make it seem like Hugh Freeze is the guy and it's only him and no one else. But we're talking about him because it is a possibility that he could be. He's in the mix. They're going to talk. Pruitt and Freeze, they're going to talk. So let's just say Hugh Freeze gets it. Have y'all scrubbed y'all's Twitter account of all the shade that you threw Hugh Freeze?
Let me go do that.
I don't know.
Have y'all done that? Because I'm just saying there was a lot of shade towards Hugh Freeze from Tennessee folks when he was at Ole Miss.
I need to see what I said about it.
We just gonna say my bad.
Let's see what
we gonna say. Oh man, I was drunk, man. No, you can't take me serious. I was inebriated, man. Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
I had this tweet on July 13th of last summer.
Let me go look at mine.
When you look up fraud in the dictionary, there's a picture of Hugh Freeze's face next to it, consistently lying through his teeth.
You might want to delete that.
No, I'll keep it up there.
Just go ahead and delete it right now. Why not? Why not? You might as well.
That's the only bad one that I have.
Just go ahead.
It's not wrong. I mean, Hugh Freeze lied through his teeth several times when he was at Ole Miss.
At the time.
And I still think he is a hypocrite.
I know Charlie got some hot takes over there.
Charlie,
I haven't said, surprisingly, I haven't, it looks like, I haven't said a lot directly about Hugh Freeze. I did say he had a quote where he said, "I'm not a fan of spring games," and then I said, "I'm not a fan of Hugh Freeze." And that was one.
That was then. What about now? You a fan now?
Of Hugh Freeze?
Yeah.
Sure. I think he would be a good OC. Would I say I'm a fan? If I mean, I'll say I'm not gonna lose sleep if they don't hire Hugh Freeze.
I mean, I'm just going through my tweets from making sure I don't have anything.
I found another one. Oklahoma football tweeted, head coach Lincoln Riley announces that quarterback Baker Mayfield will not start Saturday's game against West Virginia, but will play, and he will not be a team captain for the contest. I remember that situation. Baker was suspended for something, but this was also after Will Greer broke his finger, and remember it showed Will Greer's finger, and it was going all different ways. So I quoted that tweet from Oklahoma football and said, wonder if this would still be the case if Will Greer's middle finger wasn't more crooked than Hugh Freeze.
That's pretty good.
Like, I still think that Hugh Freeze is a fraud in the sense of the man was posting Bible verses and coming across as a godly human being.
We're forgetting about that stuff because he might be here.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah, I did not like that.
Yeah, and so that's why I called him a fraud. And I still believe that he is a fraud and
was a
hypocrite.
fraud. He's changed now.
I'm a believer that people can change. So
he's changed.
I can say this. I had a conversation. I think in some sense, I don't remember what I said, and I'm having trouble finding it. I have said stuff about Hugh Freeze. I know I have.
He's been saved.
But
he got baptized.
I will say this. I had
last week.
I had some criticism.
With Jordan Bowden and Kyle Alexander?
Yeah, he was there. He was there with Jordan Bowden. Yeah, he got baptized.
I had some criticism of Hugh Freeze. And it got around to somebody who said, "Hey, I used to live with Hugh Freeze, and I can tell you he's a very good person." I ended up direct messaging this person.
Did you slide into his DMs like you slid in on the block of ice this morning walking into the house?
It was a woman. But anyway, I did, and I asked, like, why? Why do you say that? Because it seems to me like he went out and read Bible verses and then was calling prostitutes. She was adamant that he is a great family man, that he's a great person, and she completely vouched for him. And this is someone who lived with Hugh Freeze. And so I will say this: people in his personal life say that he's a great person. There is that much, but outside looking in, it was not a good look.
I will say this: Hugh Freeze, in my opinion, fell on the sword for Ole Miss. And there's a lot more to that story than what's in the public, but no one's going to really explain it and come out because it probably would be even uglier or sound even worse. So Let's just leave it to Hugh Freeze would call them prostitutes. Whatever.
So did you find any tweets?
No, I don't have any, man.
And Charlie didn't find any?
I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
Surely
Sister Jean would say otherwise.
I'm a lover, man. That was a joke.
Sarah Spain would say otherwise.
Surely, I can't believe that there has to be something in here where I said something really snarky about Hugh Freeze. There has to be.
Charlie,
I just have to find it. I don't know.
Maybe instead of searching Hugh Freeze, search Hugh.
Oh, maybe.
Because I could see you referring to him by his first name rather than his whole name.
I'll try that out.
Because there is zero chance, like you were saying, Charlie, that there is not a snarky tweet from you in regards to Hugh Freeze.
I mean, there is no shot that didn't happen.
There's a better chance of Tennessee playing in a bowl game this month than that happening.
Yeah, we got to baptize Hugh Freeze again.
We need to get him linked up with Tim Miller.
Yeah, we good, man.
A daily baptism.
Good. Here's a contract. Step over here to the side. Pinch your nose. We got to baptize you.
We can baptize Hugh Freeze at the press conference that he has introduced for the entire college football world to see.
That's right, man. That's right. That's how you get away with this. Look, Garrett Sankey, we baptizing him. Everything's good.
He's okay now.
Everything's good, man.
We're showing him grace.
Sins are washed away. We good to go. Here's your playbook. Come on, let's get it. Jared, give a Hugh. Go. All right, who we got on the phone?
John in Gainesville.
John, good morning.
Hey, just real quick, not to get too biblical on you, but let's remember, man after God's own heart, David. He had a pretty little checkered past too.
That's
God
right.
called him a man after his own heart.
That's right, man. We're human. We make mistakes.
You can do your whole life really good, and one mistake can ruin it all. There's a lot of people sitting in jail for one mistake.
That's right. And then we judge people, for not being perfect, and we're humans, man. We're not perfect. So if he did everything in his power to be a better person, then I think he deserves a second chance. And we're joking around and stuff like that, but that's serious.
Yeah,
that's 100%, John. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. My coach told me in high school, and always stuck with me. I don't know how I got off on this, but still feel like people need to hear it. He said, God ain't so much concerned where you are spiritually, but he's worried about where you're headed. Which direction are you headed? And that just always stuck with me. So, you know what? It's easy to snark on him, and I'm snarking this person above all. But, yeah, man, if I had $5 million in my pocket and his power, y'all ain't one of those. I take the pass. So there you go.
Hey, I'm with you, John, man. Money and power, it really challenges you as a person, for sure. And
it's easy to sit behind the throne of Twitter.
Exactly.
What I was calling about, football-wise, is, and I hadn't really heard anybody talk about it. I think Hugh Freeze is a great offensive mind from what I saw. I like the fact that he challenged Alabama, wasn't scared of them. But do you think, a fit standpoint, would he be good a fit for Jeremy Pruitt? I hate to listen, man. Look out, soon.
Thank you, man. I don't really know. I think that's the conversation that Hugh and Jeremy need to have. They need to get on the grease board or notepad in the hotel room or whatever and figure that stuff out.
Ooh, Charlie, I found one.
So I have two. I finally came.
Is it a?
You got some mean tweets to Hugh
Freeze?
Freeze?
Charlie, this one is bad, dude.
What'd I say?
Did you tweet out a picture? Are you referring to the picture you tweeted out of him? You took a screenshot.
I said, why does Hugh Freeze look like he's currently detoxing from a heroin addiction?
God,
I said,
Charlie.
He looked ragged there at the end. Hey, it got 50 retweets.
You gonna delete it, Charlie? Or maybe you gonna wait till we get closer to?
I'm gonna see if they hire him.
Okay.
And then I'll get around to it. But there were other ones. I made fun of the fact that he said integrity is not doing the right thing. That was a quote taken out of context from Hugh Freeze. And then when there was a little bit of talk about him for the head coaching position at Tennessee, and I said it's a no on Hugh Freeze from me. And so that's one.
Well, I found another one of you speaking to his integrity. Ole Miss put out a statement about Hugh Freeze, and you quoted it and said, "Fam, this is faker than Hugh Freeze's integrity."
Yes.
I knew I said some stuff like that.
This is the homework for today, everybody. Go and scrub your Twitter account of Hugh Freeze hate.
Here's another one. Pat 40 tweeted out an article, Hugh Freeze to Yahoo. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not tempted to cheat or break rules in recruiting. Charlie quotes it and says, like Jesus in the wilderness, the Right Reverend Hugh Freeze refuses to be tempted.
Hugh.
Delete. Charlie, you have some homework, man.
You have a lot of Hugh Freeze tweets.
I'm just now. I've uncovered the stash too. I'm looking at them all.
All right. And then you tweeted out a picture of a sign that says, go to Ole Miss or the devil will get you. And you said, this is what Hugh Freeze tells recruits.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, man. Charlie, you got some work to do after the show.
Yep.
Bond says maybe Bob Petrino will be looking for an offensive coordinator job. He can look all he wants to. He don't even be looking over here. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll take Hugh Freeze's history over Bob Petrino. Bob Petrino lies to his players, and his players hated him. I ain't never heard a player hate Hugh Freeze. Those dudes played for him. They looked like they loved him playing for him. Not the case at Louisville. So, Bob Petrino, he can go to the NFL or something, but no thank you.
I also
no thank you.
I tweeted out a picture. When I covered Mississippi State, there was a Photoshop that went around of Hugh Freeze holding up his hand, and someone Photoshopped it into a middle finger.
I saw this.
Of him holding up a middle finger, and I tweeted that out at one point.
Yeah.
I might have to delete that one.
Charlie, you got a lot of
That's one that's got to get scrubbed
Let's
right
think
now.
about this right quick before we go to break. I'll give you something to think about. Ole Miss was signing the number one player at multiple positions, was out recruiting Alabama, and all they got was a little bowl band for 2 years.
Well, I think it was 3 or 4 years, and then it got reduced.
Just think about that. Just think about what Ole Miss was doing. Larry Tunsil, the NFL draft, and all they got is a bowl band when they wasn't even going to a bowl anyways. Why do you think that happened? Just saying.
Well, Wikipedia, according to Wikipedia, Hugh Freeze is currently the offense coordinator at the University of Tennessee.
Man, Wikipedia just asked me for $3.
Me too.
They asked for donations.
I said it's a no for me, dog.
What is this, man? What is this? Santa Claus sitting outside of Kroger ringing the bell for Salvation Army? Wikipedia. Yeah. Get your money up. All right, hour 3 coming up.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense.
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
Gentlemen, when it comes to taking care of your health, sometimes the first step is the hardest. Low T Center is making it easier to take that first step. It all starts with knowing the numbers that are essential to a man. Testosterone levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, prostate, and thyroid. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get all these levels checked and more. Low T Center specializes in men's health and has expanded their services, including sleep apnea, low thyroid, hypertension, severe allergies, high cholesterol,
diabetes, and annual physicals, along with testosterone replacement therapy. The physicians at Low T Center not only want to help you feel good again, they want to help you prevent any serious health problems moving forward. Now, with the holistic approach to your overall health and wellness, Low T Center is making it more convenient for men to take care of their health, and most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify for you. Take the first step for your health and call 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388, or go to lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Eight 255-03 B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's get to the hotline. Got a lot of phone calls. And first, we will get to Kevin in Houston, H-Town. Kevin, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Swain. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, Kevin. Hope you are too, man.
I am. It's been a long time, and since I saw you guys, I was up there last and had a few tragedies. Trying to get my mind straight and everything, but feeling better, and I hope you guys are blessed and everything. The offensive coordinator's a heck of a thing. I think whoever we pick, the most important thing is that we have consistency and stability. We've had 4 different OCs in the last 4 years, and they just come and go like a revolving door. And, I'm not so sure that Kingsbury would be I think he'd be great while he was here, but, he's going to move on to bigger and better things. I think we need somebody that's going to be here a while. I know the days of like Chuck Amato staying 25 years as an assistant to Coach Bobby Bowden, those days are over. But, if you're going to get the best bang for your buck, my heart's telling me Chaney and Pittman because they're a package deal. I think second to them, I'd go with Enos just because out of Alabama, because he has the ability to pull Jalen Hurts, and I would welcome Jalen Hurts in a Tennessee uniform any day of the week.
Kim, did you say Enos or Anus?
Or the one that starts with the P.
Enos.
Okay. Enos.
Oh, I thought it was Enos. Like
I thought you said anus.
No, sir. No, sir.
Enos, and I would not expect Jalen Hurts to be leaving Alabama to come here. I don't think he's tied to Enos
like that. Jalen Hurts has a chance to stay and be beloved forever. Be the guy who was unselfish, who played team. Honestly, he could stay, redshirt next year, let Tua leave, and be the guy senior year. That could possibly happen. I don't see Jalen coming to Tennessee. I just don't. I think there's some other really good options out there. Speaking of that, Harrison Bailey, 2020 quarterback, is supposed to be picking between Tennessee and Michigan. If he picks Michigan, don't worry. There's some things that may be brewing with the recruiting about the future of maybe who plays quarterback in Tennessee. Maybe
big eyeball emojis.
Maybe we got some studs coming in. We know how important the quarterback position is. You want to make sure you bring the best each and every year. Have those guys compete. Harrison Bailey, there's been some talk about him maybe reclassifying to being a 2019 quarterback. I don't know. It's just kind of what I heard. But Tennessee's going to get some studs in here at every position. So you just better bet that. It's going to happen. Pruitt ain't for the 7-year rebuild. He ain't with that.
Year 0.
He ain't with that at all. He talking about trying to get this thing back as quick as possible.
Next year.
He's miserable after what happened this past season. He ain't about that losing stuff. All right, who's next?
Josh in Little Rock.
Josh in Little Rock, good morning.
Swain, I got some breaking news for your show, my friend.
All right, what you got, man?
I've just accepted the offensive coordinating position at the University of Tennessee.
Big if
you
true.
You're receiving the new OC.
Congratulations, man.
Wow.
And we can save our water. We don't have to baptize you.
That's right.
What can we expect out of your offense?
I have no baggage. I was hired on the implications to score 32 points a game, so you can expect us putting up 32 points a game. That's my minimum.
Okay.
Wow.
We're going to be running the ball.
Okay.
We're going to be passing the ball.
Oh,
We're
okay.
getting a lot of first downs.
Okay.
We're going to be in the end zone. We are going to have the top red zone efficiency rating in the SEC next year.
So let me get this straight. We're going to run the ball, we're going to pass the ball, and we're going to score touchdowns. I really appreciate you being –
And get first downs.
And get first down. I appreciate you being so detailed.
And running and passing, that's not necessarily in that order. Ball fans might like to hear that.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing.
So
there.
you're not guaranteeing a run on first down every single time.
Yep. I'm going to keep the defense guessing.
What's your salary? Yep. I need to know if you're my cousin or not.
So I'm probably not your cousin, but Tennessee is my dream job. I want to be here for a long time, and with good faith and goodwill, I've accepted $400,000 for the next 4 years.
Yeah, we
Modest.
not related, man.
No,
Sorry.
I'm related.
No, you're not. You're not.
Just let me get some tickets.
So I do have some performance incentives.
Okay.
If I do score those 32 points a game, I get an extra $400,000 at the end of the year.
Okay.
And my salary would increase to $800,000 for the next 3 years.
Okay, well, I'd be like a distant cousin, you know.
Yeah.
What's the other incentives?
Other incentive is to bring the top talent into Knoxville. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm about to hop on a plane, get on the recruiting trail, headed down to Florida. Okay. And that's where I'll be for the next couple of days, recruiting some top talent down there. But other incentive is to bring some 4 and 5 stars in.
Do you practice leadership reps in your offensive philosophies?
That's not what they're called in my offense. No, there's no leadership reps.
Okay.
But I tell you what, I will take a guy off the field if he's not giving me 110%.
What about, when you're teaching great effort, do you teach them about and blocking? Do you teach them about having their eyes on the thighs and stuff like that?
Eyes on the thighs, helmet in the chest, whatever we need to do. I will tell you right now, I wasn't very happy with the blocking we had on the receivers. I know Yak Johnson's doing a really good job teaching those boys. We got to have a little more effort. But with our offensive line in shambles, we're going to have to do some more of those wide receiver screens. We just need to set them up a little more efficiently.
Josh, you the man, man. You the man, Josh. Thanks so much, man.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, let's get to Dwight.
Our guy Dwight dropped.
Oh,
I just hope it wasn't Dwight Howard. He's had a rough couple of days.
No, it probably wasn't. Oh, no, never mind. I thought that was him calling back. Oh, well. 865-255-03. We got about 3 minutes if you want to give us a call. Recruiting. Eyeball emojis.
Big eyeball emojis.
That's all I'll say. Eyeball emojis. Eyeball emojis. Just have on some eyeball emojis. Pruitt is crisscrossing the country, looking for ballers. Eyeball emojis. Just keep your eyes out for what's going on there. Didn't really get into the whole Mikael McDaniel situation. I'll be honest. I've been kind of talking to Mikael, trying to help him get to next spot, and that's the reason why I haven't really talked about it much, because I'm a little compromised. I'm just being real with you. If I wasn't, I probably would talk about it a lot more, but I'm trying to help this young man, and I don't really know if the videos are gonna helping or hurting, to be honest. He's a talented player from Georgia, had offers. I won't say he had every SC offer, because what's on a recruiting site doesn't mention about a committable offer. But he had a lot of offers, could have went to a lot of different places, came here, didn't have a great experience, got hurt, which makes it a whole lot worse because now you can't go compete. And by the time he's healthy, he has a situation with this transcript, and so he didn't have that. And so he's at Hutchinson Community College right now, didn't play this season, but he has a couple years of eligibility, but he doesn't have any game film. Doesn't have a lot. Have some practice film, but doesn't have any film at Hutchinson, doesn't have any film at UAB. And so I've been working like heck to try to connect him to a place where he can go play college football. So other shows may talk about this a little bit more than me, and that's the reason why. Because I'm trying to get him a spot. So I've talked about 7 or 8 schools, try to get him in Atlanta spot. And that's where my focus energy is. And if my show suffers because I don't talk about that gossip, then so be it. I think getting him a place to play is more important. Who we got there next? We got Dwight. Got about 30 seconds, Dwight. 30 seconds.
Hey, I'll make it real quick, man. I was just really calling to pay my gratitude, saying thank you for the show. Y'all doing a great job, getting a lot of information regarding Tennessee. Hey, y'all keep up the good work, and God bless y'all.
Thank you, Dwight. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Mikael's not coming back to Tennessee. For those who ask me, that's not an option right now. Okay, Pruitt wants fresh high school ballers, guys. You're gonna have for 4 years. So, kind of hesitant to get grad transfers because they're not gonna be here for that long. Definitely hesitant about getting someone like Mikael right now. So it may not work out. Have a great day, a great Wednesday. Peace and love. For Ben McKee, Charlie Burris, from Jason Swain, we are out.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com.